All right, we've got it. I know you guys are all here. You're all excited. We got an unbelievable panel. It is going to be a great show tonight, guys. I want to say I'm just so excited to get into tonight's show. And we had a great pre-show, actually, believe it or not. We were just yucking it up and kind of going over some of the unbelievable news. And I got to be honest with you guys. This is going to be one of those topics in shows tonight where you kind of... Everyone's got their own opinion, and there's really no wrong answer because nobody truly knows what the future will bring when it comes to these topics, but it is going to be a heck of a lot of fun to hear what everybody's thoughts are as we progress into next generation. That being said, guys, let me take a second here to say thank you to all of the Mooch Maniacs that make this channel what it is. You guys have made it grow. I can't thank you guys enough. I want to shout out all the Mooch Maniacs. And if you're wondering how do you become a Mooch Maniac and get your name yelled out every single week by me, the guy who yells way too much, there's that little join button right above the description. So feel free to hit that at any point in time and become part of the Mooch Maniac family. That being said, I want to do a shout out real quick to Sir X-Man, Midway Monster, JudaZuk, WoolleyGamer, Ben Link, TrueWiddy, The Wise Old Gamer, Failed Pyromancer, Frostbite Slash, Jacob Evans, Tactical Gamer, Marlesco, Ice Queen Gaming, Wraith The Emperor, Eddie T, Major Mooch Maniacs, MexJ88, Wendigo, 4-Star General, who's in the chat. I saw him in there. Shaun Slamka, who I saw also in there in the chat. Brian B, a.k.a. Delirium Blades. Audible Fart, thanks for that name. 507. And the VIP Mooch Maniacs, Remarkable Knights. Van W, a.k.a. The Butcher Van. Rich Kreischer, Rated D Demonic. Doggy Dog 420, Percolator 9000, our honorable mentions, Matt Bradley, we miss you in the family, Lucifer, we miss you, and Masshole 1977, and our Mooch Maniac that we always remember, and thanks so much for helping the channel, the great Wilmy Hood, and Longshot 316, our forever Mooch Maniac. And I see that we have a new family member, what is it? Is it Custoids X? Is now a new Mooch Maniac family member. Buddy, thank you so much. And shout out to the great Marty Bison. He says, pre-orders are sold out all over Denver. I need a PS5. Marty, we are going to see what we can do to get you a PS5, buddy. It is great to have you here. That being said, we do have an outstanding show for you guys. Let me not take any more time. Let's get into it. I've got the one, the only, I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely loving, and I mean loving, the unscripted shows that we get twice a day. The one and only A Crap Gamer Crap. How the hell are you doing tonight?
Man, how do you beat that intro, right?
I tried
it, and lots to talk about. Excited to get into it. Got a good panel tonight, so let's not delay them. Good stuff.
Appreciate that, Crap. Thank you so much. And we missed him terribly last week. We missed him terribly. But he is here tonight. He's here right from Redmond. He took a personal jet with Aaron Greenberg himself, the Xbox defense lawyer, Xbot448. Xbot, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Battletoads! Yo, what is going on, everybody? Everybody in the chat, what is going on? Panel, Mooch. Yeah, I did miss last week. I did tune in, though.
Well, it's great.
And the thing was, I couldn't type as fast as I would have spoken about the things that were going on last week. But it is good to be back here, man. I'm excited. Let's go.
It's not the same without you, Xbox. It's great to have you back.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely, mean it from the bottom of my heart. And then I want to welcome Anthony Boyd. Anthony Boyd, I got news for you. You're part of the Mooch Maniac family, but you're always been part of the Mooch Maniac family. Welcome, Anthony Boyd. Can't thank you enough for that membership follow, buddy. Then I want to get here to, we're missing one person. I just want to let you know, we have Gaming Forte. He's on the way. He's told me he's on the way. He's probably about 5 minutes out. So we'll give a shout out to Gaming Forte, and we'll give him a proper introduction when he gets here.
I bet you all the people that he took a picture of jumped him afterwards, and now he's running late.
Oh, my God. May or may not be true. We'll get the truth right from him when he gets here. But you know who can do an introduction, and he's fantastic at it? It's Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, who's back. Brap! Enrique, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing very well. I'm super excited to be on CrossFire again. It's going to be an awesome show.
Buddy.
Great!
Yeah, yes, my Warzone buddy, Xbot448. Yes, it was great.
Oh,
of course it was.
Oh, it really was a good time. We had Delirium Blades on. We had Xbot. And Xbot's wife, who was giving me the business for not reviving her or calling her, or buying her back in.
You picked the rookie over her, like.
yo, Snaps was like, Enrique, why did you not
Hi.
Yeah, why? She's like, she's like, oh, I'll remember that. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So something tells me that next time I play, she's not going to call me back in.
No.
Out of the group. Yeah, she's not going to. So
No.
You lost your invitation. That's all right, Brad. That's okay.
did.
You're always welcome with Mooch and Blades. You know that. And you'll work your way back into Mel's heart one way or the other. But listen, that being said, we've got our special guests that are on tonight. Like I said, we have another special guest that's coming in at 8 o'clock, so we'll introduce that individual when they get here. But let me start with the lovely Erica is back. And Erica, birthday week for both of us. This is fantastic. Great to have another Libra on the panel. How are you tonight?
Facts. Libra gang out here. I'm good. I'm good. I'm back. Thank you for inviting me. We got a stacked panel. Should be a good one.
It's going to be
great. I'm excited.
Erica, I have a quick question for Erica.
What's
Just
up?
real quick. Won't take long. Erica, I have to ask you, I want your honest opinion on something. What is the best gaming platform right now out there?
Wow.
Dreamcast.
You already know, Brap. You really want me? You want me to say it? You already know. The Master Race. We there.
Wow. You're going to get the crowd all riled up this early? We didn't even get to the hot subject yet.
I know.
Oh, God. Brap, nice work on doing that. Let me get to this. We have a very special guest with us, very good friend of mine. We speak behind the scenes, and you know what? I've said this a million times, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. DC, Dreamcast guy, is back on the show. And you know, guys, I know everybody already knows who he is, right? I don't have to introduce him. You guys know who he is. But, you know, DC, just like I was saying to you before the show, you know, I'm a fan as much as I am a friend. I got to tell you, you just put so much heart. And, you know, even if it's something that me and you don't agree on a topic, you got to respect just how much passion that you put into the videos and how much passion that you have in gaming. So it's an honor to have you back on the show. How are you tonight?
Really, really good. Excited to talk about all this stuff, especially because we just survived pre-order week, or at least some of us did. I mean, some people are not here yet because they've been jumped because of pre-order week. But, you know, it's good. I'm glad. I got both my systems. I got the Series X and the PlayStation 5.
Yes, same here. I believe a lot of people on the panel did as well. And let me tell you something. You know, kudos to everybody that did it. That was not an easy feat. It was not an easy feat. So let me do this. So let's start with a subject. And, you know, DC, I'll go to you first. And then I want to hear, I know Craps definitely got an answer to this too. I can't wait to hear what Craps going to say, because me and him have spoke this week, but not in depth on this subject yet. But DC, answer me this. So the first subject tonight is basically Microsoft buys Bethesda. No news there, right? ZeniMax Media, we know that. And of course, the question I'm posing here is, how does this impact Xbox moving forward? And there's more to this onion to peel back, DC, than just, well, it's going to be great. You know, this is a situation where I think from the beginning, as we stand right now, it's a fantastic get for Microsoft. I thought this was a big power move. I think it was a necessary move. I'll refrain and keep I'll keep my opinion until the end. But DC, how do you see this acquisition for Microsoft helping them in the near future and then in the distant future?
I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference in the near future. I do think that it seems like more people are finally excited about the Xbox Series X. More people are treating Xbox's next generation seriously already, even though neither system is even out yet. I'm more curious about 2 years from now, because if you're spending $7.5 billion, you're not doing that because you want, you know, Games Pass stuff. You're doing that because you want exclusives. I honestly think we're going to see maybe Elder Scrolls 6 or something as an exclusive. And that is when stuff's going to get real spicy.
So you're saying something like Elder Scrolls, right? Which I myself personally,
Starfield.
Yes. But is Elder Scrolls is this Elder Scrolls the MMO you're discussing, DC?
No. Like Elder Scrolls Online, I think will keep being cross-gen. I think a lot of their more liquidy sort of IP stuff like Fallout 76 online stuff, but also I do think if we get another Dishonored, I feel like a Dishonored might be cross-gen. I think the major heavy hitters that are going to sell no matter what, they're going to put that on Xbox. Because let's face it, if they said straight up, hey, we decided we're going to make Fallout 5, it's exactly the game you want. We're also doing Fallout New Vegas with the original people who did the original Fallout New Vegas. It's going to be the game you always wanted. Yeah. But it's only on Xbox. Motherfuckers are going to suddenly want to buy an Xbox.
This is well, that should be the intent. And you know,
Game Pass.
Well, yes.
Yep.
Well, that's
Exactly,
what they want.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm just going to throw this up there. I'm going to throw the volleyball up there, and then I want to hear what you guys have to think about this. And please do. Anybody wants to chime in on this, go ahead.
Well, I just kind of wanted to respond to Dreamcast guy real quick.
Go ahead, Xbot.
Like, I hear what you're saying about exclusives, and, you know, I think that is partially true. But like down the road, I feel like what they're gonna do is, stuff like New Vegas 2, I can definitely see them if they do that exactly like you said. Yeah, definitely coming out for Xbox. The games that I think that have a long track record being multi-plat though, like you go into just straight Fallout, not even New Vegas, just Fallout. And that line, I think that line is going to stay multi-plat. It's going to be day and date in Game Pass. We all know Xbox, they have all their chips on Game Pass right now. And now, all of a sudden, Game Pass with, Bethesda Softworks, you got id Software, you got like Arcane, all these developers, now basically, under that umbrella without having the Microsoft Game Studio logo in the beginning, because they're going to keep Bethesda, all that good stuff. I think it's going to cater to both. When Phil Spencer said case by case basis, and I already know what people are going to say about what Phil Spencer says, and I've called him out when it came to virtual reality, Xbox One X, and people who like VR are still waiting for that, and he still has to do something with that. But when he said on a case by case basis, I really think he means like those the Starfield, New Vegas 2, stuff like that will be exclusive, which I think people will get hyped up for. There is a New Vegas kind of like fan community out there that has been wanting a sequel for a long time. If they get it only on Xbox/PC or whatnot, if they're a console gamer, they're really going to consider buying into Xbox. So I think it actually feeds like both dogs, like the Game Pass side of things moving forward, because the multi-plats that they're going to do will be day and date into Game Pass, making that subscription service even more enticing, even going down the road and stuff like that. And I think they're going to have their section of exclusives as well.
So let me just say this, Xbot, and then I want to hear what the rest of the panel has to say. This is the volleyball I want to throw up there. I agree with what you said, and honestly, that's just logic, right? That makes sense. But the only other acquired studio as of recent that kind of holds water to this purchase right here is the acquisition of Mojang, right? And I hope I'm saying that right.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So Mojang being $2.5 billion, and pardon me if I'm rounding, okay? But my point being is this. The minute that happened, and I understand the answer to this as well, Minecraft was everywhere. So we're going to keep it everywhere. Well, here's the thing. Fallout, right? And everything, all these other games that you guys all mentioned, except for Starfield? Except for that game, all these other games have been on other platforms and are household names. So,
come on, though. This is 3 times the price, and I have to cut you off.
Right.
It's 3 times the price, and the other, this is literally more money than Disney paid for the entire Marvel universe, and more money than the entire Star Wars universe combined. Like, this is got to be one of the biggest, like, single property purchases ever. Just, I want to buy ZeniMax.
Well, dude, not only that,
you're not doing that
in Bethesda, and with Mojang, you're just dealing with Mojang.
No, well, DC, let me say my point, and then I want to see if you agree or disagree. No, it's okay. That's okay. My point is, no, it's all right. My issue here, I think, no, it's fine. I love it. I think the point of the matter here is that when you're talking about Phil going up and having a meeting with Satya, right? And of course, I'm definitely just paraphrasing here. I have no idea. But I would think if he was able to go and say, listen, I need $2.5 million for Mojang, right? $1 billion for Mojang. He probably said, how are we going to keep that money coming in? Well, we're going to keep that money coming in and make even more money on all consoles, on all platforms. I think when it came to the $7.5 billion, when it comes to new IP that id Software or Bethesda or these other companies are going to Arcane, when they come up with something new, like kind of what we saw with like Deathloop, right? Now, Deathloop happens to be a bad example because it's a PS5 exclusive timed. I get it. But let's say it wasn't. And let's say Deathloop we didn't know about. Deathloop coming out in 2 years, that's not a household name. That's not been on PlayStation. That is exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. I think games like Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls, this is again just a thought, because to recoup some of that money back, you're going to want all platforms to scoop that up. And the benefit is still on Xbox's side, because as you said in many videos, Crap has said it as well, DC. Here's the thing, it goes into Game Pass day one. So there's still a benefit for Xbox gamers over other platforms. But when you're talking about $7.5 billion and just going to throw it on Xbox, and we all know Xbox did somewhere between 41 and 50 million consoles, okay? I understand that they're doing the service and they're going to have the apps out there. I get it. I totally get it. But right now, they may not see the dividends that they want to see immediately. So why wouldn't you keep a Fallout 5 and an Elder Scrolls 6 on other platforms? Take that 70%, okay, that you're gonna make on those games, and you put it in your pocket and start to actually use house money and earn that 7.5 billion back. Now, once they have that, and you're on Fallout, 7. Well, that's different. But I mean, I don't see the foreseeable future Microsoft wanting to pull these household names and keeping them off of other platforms. That's my volleyball. What do you think?
It's a power play, though. Like, the point of this isn't even necessarily for upfront profit.
Power play.
It is, but I think part of it is that they're the only people that could do it. Like, Nintendo would never come out here. The speculation is that Nintendo has like 60 billion in the bank or whatever. They would not just take that big of a slice off themselves to try and acquire that. This was them saying, all right, you want to fucking pay excuses? You want to say Xbox has no games? Xbox has every game. Oh, you want to play Doom? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the toy in our toolkit. Oh, you want Dishonored to exist? Oh, you want Evil Within 3? Unfortunately, they're only eating over here at the cool kids table. I think it's that. That's the way I think.
Yo, Dreamcast, like, I hear what you're saying, man, but, if you look at what Xbox has been saying, what they've been promoting, all that good stuff, they definitely, they want, different types of gamers all on the Xbox platform, and they want that through Game Pass. So I feel like, this purchase, a lot of it has to do with Game Pass. Now, down the line,
absolutely.
I like what Mooch said, because, they can put out a game, they can grab mindshare being like, oh, we're pro-consumer. We're not taking this off of the platform. It's been here for like 3 iterations, multi-plat, and we're going to keep doing that. But if you want to play it as cheap as possible, we have it in Game Pass day and date.
Bingo.
And they're keeping that pro-consumer kind of like status, or building on that. Plus, they're still making money off the PlayStation and Nintendo Switch versions that are going out. Like, when Phil Spencer said, on a case-by-case basis, I really believe that's what he meant. The Starfields, New Vegas 2, which adds more to the Xbox platform. It gets the console gamer to look at that platform. But I think Game Pass is a major part of this, bro.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Phil Spencer already. Hey, man, you almost killed me with that freaking Battletoads crap, man. I was like, I thought we were past that.
Forte,
I thought we were past that.
It was only for you, bro.
No,
it wasn't. I wasn't even here, but I still heard it.
Forte, why was your customer giving you the finger today, man?
Yo,
bro, you know what the funny thing is? I didn't even know that until somebody peeped it out in the tweet. I was like, oh shoot. He was mad. He was mad because he was probably number 9 of 8.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
He was probably 9 or 8, man.
We were worried about you coming through.
I appreciate it, man.
I was worried.
Listen, man.
I was scared.
When I pulled up this morning, I was like, wow. I said, people don't read. There's a big sign. There's like 9 signs on the door that says 4, I said 8 physical, 0 digital. And even the people that was camping out, shout out to the guy that had a lazy boy out there. I didn't get a picture of that.
And they skimping out on that digital.
Oh yeah, dog. Yeah,
crazy.
One person. Dog. The first 4 people in line. The first person was there at 11:30 the night before. Yeah. The second person was there at 12:12. He said he got there around 12:30. The third person got there at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the fourth person got there at 6 a.m. And he said when he only saw 4 people in line, he was like, bet I'm going home to get my lazy boy. And he literally had his lazy boy out there. Chilling, bro.
Yeah, right?
Chilling. It was, you gotta sleep in style. But I think when Phil Spencer was talking about the whole games, because I was thinking like you, Mooch, for a while, like there's no way that they're gonna want to make this money back.
Yes.
But then I thought about it, I was like, but why would you pay $7.5 billion to let somebody else reap the rewards of what you did?
Yeah, but why would you pay 2.5 billion? Why would you pay? Why would you pay 2.5 billion?
No, you're right on that. But then you got to also think on top of that. if Microsoft was able, I think it's all about Game Pass, like you guys said. Unless Sony's going to let Game Pass on PlayStation, I just don't see that being a thing. No. But also on top of that, why would you? If Bethesda games can go over there, why not Halo at that point then? I mean, at that point, any game should be able to go to PlayStation. Wow. Any game should be able to go over there then because you own it. It's like just because it used to be a third-party game doesn't mean that it's still not first-party now.
The name, it's not going to say Xbox Game Studios and stuff like that. Like, we all are going to know that it's first party. And I'm pretty sure that when a new Bethesda game comes out, they're going to be like, Xbox.
Yeah, it's going to be Xbox. So
they don't have that game studio moniker at the beginning of the game. And I think that means something there. That gives them, at least in marketing. And like I said, I didn't finish college for marketing, but I took marketing and graphic design for a while. So I got an idea here. Like, just having that not be in the game gives them leeway in the community to do stuff.
Well, it's also the big argument about why certain games weren't going to the Switch away, and like how they didn't want Halo on PlayStation because Xbox wanted you to be able to log into Xbox Live, and PlayStation was like, "Oh hell no!" Well, why would we let that be a thing on our platform?
Go ahead, Brap. Then I want to read something. I have an article here that I want to bring up.
So, Mooch, I think there's some really compelling points here on both sides. I mean,
there is. Yes.
I see where you're coming from, Mooch. I see where Xbox coming from, where Dreamcast guys coming from, where Forte is coming from.
What about Erica?
Where Erica's coming from?
I'll be next. I'll go next.
Oh, Erica ain't talking. Okay, I'm about to say, don't be forgetting about the queen out here.
Yes.
Taking notes right now.
I'm on here. Okay, so I think this. I think when you spend $7.5 billion in cash.
Say that again.
They spent $7.5 billion in cash.
There you go. You can't say that number once without saying it again.
So think about that. They didn't sell stocks or dividends or whatever. They came out of their pockets. They don't want any money to creditors. They don't have to pay this merger acquisition back because companies will do that. Right. They'll finance basically their acquisition of another organization. They don't have to do that. So this, to me at least. And you know what? I could be wrong. They could say, you know what? Sacha could be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you 7.5, but you gotta get these games, on other platforms because we got to recoup that ASAP. That maybe that's the case. I don't think that's the case, though. In my opinion, I think that this is a power move. This is that recoup of that investment of $7.5 billion. I think they're looking at this for the long haul. Like, you know what? We made a $7.5 billion investment. We know we're not going to recoup it in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. This is the long game for us. We've solidified, and Microsoft with this move has solidified themselves. And I will probably talk about Amazon's streaming service later on. But Microsoft, in my opinion, has solidified themselves as the major player when it comes to streaming services with xCloud and what xCloud is going to give people in terms of access to Bethesda now as an exclusive, Game Pass, things like that. I would be very surprised because if you spend 7.5, it's like they're doing it because
against their competitors.
You're trying to say, hey, you know what? We need to get more people to spend $15 and not $1 or the back of a Pop-Tart box to come into Game Pass. We need to get these people locked in. We need that reoccurring, subscription revenue.
But Brap, all the can I ask you a quick question? What are the games that are going to get the folks locked in from Bethesda? Can you name them?
I think Doom.
Yep.
Wolfenstein.
Yep, I agree.
I almost said Skyrim. Elder Scrolls.
Yep, I agree.
Starfield.
Yep, I agree.
And let me tell you something.
Can I just say something though? Can I say something?
Yeah.
All those games are years away.
But you know what?
That's why.
Let me tell you the worst part about spending $7.5 billion and then not seeing a dollar of it really returned for years. That's the thing. I'm saying, why would they hold back? They want to make money. All right, they're not involved in console wars. They're involved in making cash. Okay, so what I'm saying to you guys is you're not wrong in what you're saying. That's why I said I'm agreeing with everybody, but I'm agreeing with you on the next iteration after this. They need to get as much of this money back now. They can't say I just spent $7.5 billion, and we'll see that, 2027 sounds nice.
They might be able to.
I mean, Microsoft, you're talking about 1% of your pinky.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, money's money, Forte.
No, you're right. Money is money.
Billions make trillions. Okay.
There's a reason. There's a reason this announcement went out literally the day before pre-orders went live. I've never seen. Let's be for real. We all know that PlayStation is still the dominant system when it comes to the hearts and minds and the mind share of what's going on. No, PC is just a platform, sir. We're talking about consoles here. Be quiet. But we know it's the hearts and minds of everything when it comes to these consoles and stuff. But I will tell you this: I have never seen this much excitement around a platform when it comes to Xbox in a long time.
Yeah, but Forte,
a lot of people were coming out just because, a lot of people are just coming out just because Xbox did something that they didn't think Xbox would do.
That's fine. But just like a sparkler in your hand, once it fizzes out. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is, I understand that, and that was very.
Still games. It was games. At the end of the day,
let me do this because I want to hear what Erica has to say, and I know she's ready. I just want to take care of some of these super chats, and then I'm gonna let Erica go even before I read the article. Thank you. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, just looking real quick. I apologize. There's so many that I missed here so far. JD Gamer, he says, what the ZeniMax deal does now is give hope, which I agree with you, by the way. It delivers a promise of multiple AAA games delivered to Xbox, much like PlayStation promises of the new God of War and The Last of Us. Complete JD, outstanding point. Robert Olson, I believe, says here, he says, you don't spend that kind of money to put your product on a competing device. That, Robert, there's something to be said about that, and we're going to hear about it a little bit more before we change subjects. Aerodemus says, Mojang was purchased before Game Pass, so this is different. They are looking to build out Game Pass platform. That's true, but as I just asked Brap, nothing coming from Bethesda is coming out in the next year, so they're not going to see anything on that really right away at all. Sir X-Man says, love you, Mooch, but xCloud just destroyed Stadia. Listen, I'm not a Stadia. I don't have an investment in Google. He says, I've been playing on my breaks and lunch at work. People were going to get Stadia until they saw xCloud. Keith J says, I waited at GameStop since 2 a.m. was the first in line. And we're going to get into that. Keith, don't think we're going to forget about this. I have one of the topics tonight to discuss just what the power and influence of PlayStation is, because you saw from that picture that Forte tweeted out earlier, PlayStation definitely has some things to do, and we'll get into that, but I think that the brand is alive and well. Stop 6 Doc says, shout out to the panel. Got the pre-orders for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Stop 6 Doc. Shout out to you, buddy. JD Gamer comes back. Thank you, JD, for that fantastic super chat. He says, Microsoft doesn't need PlayStation to recoup their $7.5 billion. Microsoft, through Game Pass and xCloud, has options that weren't available when the Minecraft deal were done, i.e. Android. So 115 million PlayStation consoles compared to 1.5 billion phones, tablets, etc. I totally get that. Omega/Buster says, don't think this has much to do, don't think this does much for Microsoft. This is Microsoft once again playing quantity over quality. Where's the so-called quadruple, the initiative? I see where he's coming from. Quick Killing says, use this and say the games will be on PlayStation if they put Game Pass on PlayStation, which is what we just said, Quick Killings. Otherwise, they won't be available. I don't know what SMF Vengeance is, but he says, didn't Mojang have obligations to support every console in that $2.5 billion deal? I think once you own it, I don't think there's obligations that you have.
But it's new ownership, so they could have
right, absolutely.
I think they still have to abide. That's why Deathloop legally still has to come out. They already signed the contract for.
Yeah, they have a contract. Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. I'll just get these few super chats that are remaining. By the way, I appreciate all the super chats. You guys are fantastic. Aerodemus says, Microsoft doesn't care about sales numbers. This is where I don't necessarily ride with you on this one. They count active users. So to say they need to recoup the money is not in their DNA. Listen, anybody that makes a product, okay, I don't care if you're making an ice cream cone or you're making a console, you want to sell it. JD Gamer says, oh, and Satya, not just Phil, but Satya said, we're not done. There will be more acquisitions. Who's next? Gaming is now pillars of Microsoft. Watch them work. JD, I have a feeling that you live in Redmond. Glinser comes out and says, right, Dreamcast guy and Erica for the win. As guests on the same show, this podcast is moving up. It's moving up, baby, absolutely.
Glinser,
and then
what's up?
The very famous Phil Huckster is here in the chat, and he says Xbox can't manage their studios all generation or even deliver Halo at launch. You expect them to oversee 23 studios? I don't know. And the great Carlo Crespin.
That's what they got Howard for, and what's his face. So, that they're still gonna run.
Well, they said they're gonna run it independently, right? Xbot, absolutely. Carlos Crespin says Candy Crush gamers aren't going to play Doom. So Erica,
Mooch, real
please.
quick. My bad. Just real quick, and then Erica, my bad. Just one thing.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
You were saying like these games are.
God dang, Bob, you trying to make up for last week?
Yeah, no, I am. I really am. I feel at home again, brother. But yeah, Mooch, you were saying that these games are years away and stuff, and one of the things that kind of like popped in my head was like, what's Bethesda known for when it comes down to it? They're known for not saying anything, announcing a game, and then 4 months later it's out. Like they're known,
bugs.
I get
well,
that.
yeah, they're definitely known for that too. So hopefully that Xbox Microsoft wallet will help out in terms of those bugs and everything that come out in their games. But they are known for not saying anything and then just throwing it out there, and then before you know it, the game's out there that same year. I mean, let's be real.
All right, Eric, I'm dying to hear what you have to say. I really am.
All right. So it'd be funny if after all that time, I'm just like, it's great. Great move. Good move, Microsoft. No, but for reals though, it was a huge power move, like you guys were saying. Uncle Phil, as I like to call him, might have to start calling him Daddy Phil after this, because he was like, enough of the narrative of not having games.
Papa Sacha.
Now, yeah, he's like, we got all the games now. Western RPG machine over here. Like, it seems like that's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Get all those RPGs. Just a huge power move. I definitely agree with Xbot as far as putting all the chips on Game Pass. It's really about that. It's a lot of money. So I see the other side of it to saying, look, they didn't spend that money to not have exclusive content. Like, they're definitely going to probably have case by case type of a basis, I think. But Game Pass is definitely first and foremost. The competition in that alone is huge because they're going to have these games. Like Doom, I think, is coming, in a week or something like that? Doom Eternal?
October 1st, yeah.
You could play that for $1 compared to the opposite side where you're going to spend $60 or whatever the price is now. It's probably gone down. But in the future, you're going to play these games for $5, $15, whatever your case is. And on the opposite side, on the Sony side, you're going to pay $60 or $70 for next-gen games. That alone is huge. So this whole thing with Game Pass being at the front is where it's at least in my mind for right now. I did see that what's his name? Todd Howard?
Todd Howard.
He did say...
God bless.
He kind of said some open-ended stuff about like, look, we're interested in everyone playing everywhere, and people took that as like, okay, it's not going to be exclusive. It's going to be multi-plats. But Xbox says the same thing when it comes to their cloud service, when it comes to play anywhere. It's like everywhere but Sony, right? Because games go to Nintendo, they go to your phone, whatever. So yeah, they're saying this, they're saying that. Like, listen, it's case by case, but don't be surprised if it does end up being exclusive to the ecosystem of Xbox. It definitely could happen. I feel like Todd Howard's comments are not enough to be like, okay, they're never going to do exclusive. Like, no.
Mm-hmm. So
it's very, it could be interpreted that way.
Let me do this real quick. I just want to finish these few super chats. I want to read this real quick paragraph, and then the panel can discuss from here. JD Gamer comes back. He's speaking to at Phil Huckster in the chat. He says, people forget that Microsoft managed Bungie before they went independent again. Resting Craig Face, which is a fantastic name. The real question is, what happens to Doom on Stadia? Leave Stadia alone! TrueWiddy says, apparently you can't come home, Mooch.
Everybody
you see Twitter. Listen, I got a Series X. I never left. T-Rock brings up a good point. So T-Rock, I'm gonna read your super chat, and then we're going to dive into it in a second. So let me read his super chat. He says, I haven't seen anyone point out yet that this is Microsoft buying, not creating again. They've been down this road. It's history repeating itself. Very interesting point from T-Rock. Keith J comes back and says, was going to buy Series X regardless of acquisition. So let me just say this. So this is one thing that I think, and Crap, you really kind of harped on this in a video, and I can't remember if you were, I think you were definitely going on about it on Twitter. This is something from Polygon, and let me just give credit where credit's due. That's the correct thing to do. Chris Plant, I hope I'm saying his last name right, from Polygon came out. I'm just reading a tidbit here about why the article is basically labeled here why Microsoft acquired Bethesda and why Bethesda sold. And this is something that a lot of people do forget. And I just want to remind everybody in the chat before they go, all gung-ho on Mooch. You got to understand something. I actually love Bethesda games. So let me just say that first and foremost. But he says here, Bethesda's marquee video games have struggled in the back half of this console generation, beginning in 2016 with the underperforming Dishonored 2. In 2017, the company shipped the much-delayed Prey, along with The Evil Within 2, which I absolutely love The Evil Within 2, neither of which found massive commercial success. That is true. If you guys remember, The Evil Within 2 went from $60 to $30 in almost a record-breaking 45 to 60 days. The online iteration of the Fallout series, Fallout 76, debuted in 2018 and is still trying to find its sea legs nearly 2 years into its existence. Video game publishers keep their sales numbers quiet, barring tremendous success. So it's tough to say how well Rage 2, Wolfenstein 2, or Wolfenstein 2, Wolfenstein Youngblood performed, though the sales information that made it to the public wasn't promising, to say the least. So, Crap, I don't know if you want to kind of get into this. This is something that you were discussing in detail, I believe, over the weekend. You definitely did a video on it. But Microsoft, even though $7.5 billion is quite a hefty price tag, they were probably, and I believe, shout out to Jeff Grubb, who was on the show last week. Jeff Grubb had said this too. He tweeted it out. Jeff said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, a lot of these studios were going to either lay off or close down because they weren't doing so well. This acquisition really, really helped those studios stay afloat because now Microsoft absorbed that. But Crap, I know you did a video on it. What's your take on that Polygon read?
Well, I just thought that it was a very interesting take because they bought Bethesda at a low point in terms of what they were worth. So I feel like they probably did save probably some of those studios and some of those workers as well. So, that does help out the industry quite a bit. Bethesda has a couple of really huge franchises, and the rest are just kind of mid-tier, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they're not good games, but they're just not big selling games. So, I feel like that's perfect for what Microsoft's trying to accomplish with filler in Game Pass, get these games out there and things like that. And then you have the big stuff like Elder Scrolls and, Fallout, it will be pretty big. So you have those, and then you have, I guess, Doom, and that did pretty good, but I guess even underperformed for their inner projections or whatever. But I mean, that's still a good studio. I always thought it would make more sense, give Doom a rest, maybe have them make some kind of Halo spinoff or something. I don't know. They have a lot of possibilities though, what they can actually pull off. For me though, they did that because, it's that sleight of hand where they take the eye off of their launch lineup and their lineup for 2021, which is pretty much nothing in terms of first-party content. So, again, I think they'll be set up just like what we've been saying. 2023, 2024 are going to be probably pretty big years for them. Everything they've done is for all those time out. But even if, let's say, the stuff that's already announced, let's just say the next Elder Scrolls, which has been announced already, is multi-plat, and the next one after that isn't, you're talking about 2030. And once you get past that point, man, what's the point in even talking about it? But I'm sure that Starfield will probably be exclusive. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. They need exclusives badly. Yes. Yeah, they need exclusives badly, in the worst possible way. And so, I would assume that that's going to be exclusive, and I would assume that, it depends on what everything else comes out. I mean, they were struggling to say the least, and Prey 2 didn't do well, like they were saying, and Dishonored 2 didn't do well. The DLC didn't do well. Evil Within 2 didn't do well. Even Wolfenstein 2 did 1.4 million units across every platform. That's not particularly well, you know what I mean? That's not a really especially considering how many platforms that's on. Yeah, it's pretty low.
I looked up the numbers for Spider-Man PS4. Spider-Man PS4 in the last 2 years has sold 13 million copies, which means that sold literally 1/10 the amount on every platform. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, check this out as well with this acquisition. Some things that people haven't really thought about. I'm pretty sure there's people out there who have. I'm pretty sure there's YouTubers out there who have. I just haven't seen it. But they're also getting technology as well that they can use without having to pay for a license or anything like that. With id Software, they have their own proprietary game engine that they build on, which is now
id Tech.
Yeah, which now can be used across anything Xbox, first party or whatnot. You have the Orion streaming technology as well, and it like Erica said, and like I said about going all in on Game Pass, if they can do anything to improve latency and to improve the streaming experience, they're gonna find a way to use that tech and blend it into the xCloud service as well. So they're getting multiple benefits when you think about it, like across the board. You're getting tech, you're getting exclusive games, you're getting content to put into Game Pass as well, day and date. I believe they're going to be doing multi-plats as well, so they're going to be getting profits off of other platforms. There's like a lot here that I could definitely see why Xbox and Microsoft kind of said, like, yeah, let's pull on that 7.5 billion, 7.5 billion, because Forte said I had to say it twice.
Well, let me do this. I'm going to take care of some of this.
The way you say it, you got to say it twice.
I want to do this. I want to tie. There's two subjects here that really tie in together, and let me just take care of these super chats real quick, and then I want to get to the panel on the second question here. Y9 Power says Microsoft needs commercials to twist that knife. And I do really think. Listen, they're definitely going at grassroots. They're definitely using influencers, big influencers on YouTube. You can see that that's the route they're going versus billboards and TV. Which seemingly works online, but does it work for the masses? Well, that's yet to be found out. Shout out to Nova, who does M&C mornings with me and crap. He says, everyone check out the M&C show, Sunday 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This has been a fire show. Do you think the purchase helps even out mindshare? I think it will in the future, Nova. That's what we're kind of getting to the bottom of right here.
Already started doing that.
Already did that.
Mindshare.
Well, don't forget, guys, when you have people lining up around
when you have people buying consoles or anything like that, but you saw it on depending on like what your base is on Twitter. If you have both sides and you see your feed and all that, because like there was a lot of people where there was definitely mindshare gained after that bomb drop.
I think I think everyone's got to understand when we use the words hardcore and casual, I think we use them so much now that we forget what they actually mean.
I mean, it's funny because when they announced that, I was like, man, that's really good. It really shows their commitment.
Right.
And then the more I thought about it during the day, I'm like, literally changes nothing for their launch. Literally changes nothing for the next year.
Nothing is going to change.
It didn't though, Forte.
Yeah,
it really didn't.
It did do what everybody was asking for, like asking what Microsoft going to do.
Yes.
That was the whole conversation.
Absolutely.
After Halo got delayed.
They had studios that were going to put out games by 2023. I mean,
but
the
that was
that
the thing.
is probably going to be out before the Bethesda stuff.
Yeah,
But
I just want to say something, Forte.
Go
Like
ahead.
you said, like this is kind of like their answer. Like people were asking them to do something to, to make up, if you will, for.
Well, you're not going to make up for games.
Yeah, I don't think that's a move that's that they're that move wasn't. This was in the works before.
No. This move
Halo
was in the works,
Yeah,
but the
I
fact
don't
that
think
it got
this is-
announced in the way they did.
Yeah, but I
Like,
don't think this was to
that's
make
the
up
big
for
thing.
Halo. I mean, we may think that our perspective as gamers, like,
Well, that's all that matters
timing.
is what our perspective is. It doesn't matter because guess what? The hardcore is the one that funnels all of the news down to the casual. Casuals follow the hardcore wherever they go. That's basically how this goes. If the hardcore is super excited, trust me, you see people that go on Twitter and they see lines of people standing outside like they saw for PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's the hardcore talking that up, and that makes them think like, dude, PlayStation's the place to be. If you see people doing that for Xbox, same thing. You're going to say, whoa, Xbox got lines going around the corner. That's the hardcore talking it up. Hardcore always funnels everything down to the casual base. So this is basically a really good idea because that's why they're doing the things that they do. Why do you think influencers, why do you think last generation when Call of Duty went over to PlayStation, all of the mind share went to PlayStation with it because all the influencers, the people that are hardcore, started saying, "I'm going over to PlayStation because that's where all the gameplay is going to be at." That's
you gotta also remember they were getting a lot of the content stuff first too. So I mean that's
why they want
that. I think that's
if the content creators don't go.
I'm saying they were getting like a lot of the content stuff first for Call of Duty.
I remember
part of the whole narrative when it comes to that, though. All of it's tied together.
Go ahead,
the hardcore funnels everything down, and then the casual base follows suit.
Go ahead,
There was
DC.
a big old viral video. I remember Angry Joe did like a video, just a standalone video, because he had only reviewed games on Xbox 360, and he had done, like, at that point, he'd done 50 big reviews. That's when he really hit his first million subscribers. When the PlayStation 4 came out, he was just straight up like, all right, I'm just going to review PlayStation 4 games now. And he was just very clear about that. And I remember that really blew my mind as somebody who had just purchased a PS4 as well. It did validate that. I was like, all right, I chose the winning platform.
Yep.
The timing of the announcement definitely makes it look like it's like a move to counter, just because of that. And even if it may not be, it's been in the works forever, but to the public and to us trickling down the information, it worked, but they need to do more. Like someone in the comments said something about commercials. Like they got to do more. They definitely got to reach the casuals.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying,
else.
and I think there's a combination of what everybody said here. Every single person made a great point, but the one thing is that, like, again, when it comes to the creation, when you look at, and this is why I'm going to go into this. I'm going to read the rest of the super chats in a second, but that's why I bring up the second topic here. I said, how will Sony respond to Xbox's latest purchases, and do they need to? I've watched a lot of shows in the past 48 hours, and a lot of people are under the impression that Sony at this point doesn't have to respond with a big acquisition like that, because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, Sony this generation, whether it be Ghost of Tsushima, okay, or whether it be Death Stranding, or it be you pick the game that you want to pick, right? A good game, right? They're all good. They're all good.
Right? Any game that came out the generation that was good.
Even Horizon. The thing is, and this is what shout out to T-Rock who had the super chat. They're not just keeping beloved titles like God of War alive and The Last of Us and Uncharted, but then they're creating inside. It's almost like if you are a baseball fan, sports. When you actually have an opportunity to build your team from the farm system.
They're not the Mets.
Right? No, they're definitely not the Mets.
The Mets.
Right? But the thing is, though, you got to understand, when you have the farm system and you build a team up, it's more reputable than when you just go out there like the Yankees and pay $100 million for the best pitcher. The next year you pay $150 million for the next, the best batter. And my point being is that this is a situation where people still want to see creative genes kind of flow through Xbox and have a genuine first-party IP that is their baby. You know what I mean? It's their baby. And that's why a lot of people are saying that not necessarily do they feel Sony has to do that. Now, I will say this much. I don't agree with a lot of that. I think you're going to see... Is Sony going to go buy something to the level of ZeniMax? No! But I do think you're going to see Sony try to dip their feet into the pool of like acquiring a Remedy, or maybe
they've already said that they're open to doing that.
Right,
so.
Grabbing studios with a lot. Bluepoint is rumored to already be part of Sony crap. We don't know if that's true or it's not true.
Bluepoint's super talented. Yeah.
Here's the thing. So you go grab a ZeniMax. What do you get? A lot of developers, a lot of IP, right? But when you grab like a Bluepoint and a Remedy, and then maybe who knows? There's talks, maybe they're going to grab I don't know if this is true. I highly doubt it. But Ubisoft, I don't think they're going there. But Capcom, maybe. You never know.
Yeah,
and go ahead, please, Brad.
I was going to say, Mooch, the other thing, too, that people don't... there was a story probably about a month ago. I think it was Imran Khan from Kind of Funny reported this. They don't even necessarily have to go out and buy new studios. If you can remember this particular story that came out, so basically what was happening, Sony was actually outbidding Microsoft for like exclusive time content. And so Sony doesn't have to go out and make the big deal, buy big, like they don't have to go out and buy Ubisoft. They can go out and they can do things like exclusive time content, or get Final Fantasy like Final Fantasy 16, right? They can go to a third-party developer, say, you know what, we want your game exclusive on our platform for 1 year. We want the marketing rights. Here's the money bag. Or they can do what they can go back and reach in their bag of popular franchises that we haven't seen in quite some time, like a Metal Gear Solid, right? Or maybe a Siphon Filter. Or maybe, something else that maybe an Onimusha, they can partner with Capcom. I mean, there's different ways they can go about creating exclusive content without having to drop $7.5 billion, right?
Right.
And
absolutely.
Still retain
if you look at it, they paid what, $200+ million for Insomniac, who have done, they did Ratchet and Clank, they did Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and then another Ratchet and Clank, and probably a full Spider-Man sequel. Right, they're probably going to crank out games pretty quickly.
And a Resistance trilogy is probably on the way as well, if not a Resistance 4.
I mean, I guess it's all in who you get. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the quality of studios. Like I'd take Insomniac over In Exile or Compulsion or or Undead Labs. I mean, like I'm just being honest. Like that, it's all on that. Like I do think id Software is great. You know, they're a really quality pickup for them. But I mean, for the most part, they got these kind of hobo studios.
Yo, real quick, guys.
Oh my goodness!
I just wonder how much.
Get your bindle ready.
I just wonder how much Microsoft, and like we said, we talk about that, this was just a pinky of what they're worth, less than 1% that they basically spent on this acquisition. I wonder how much of them knowing that this acquisition was literally in the final stages of happening is what kind of stopped them from really going out and really bidding on some of this stuff that Sony was bidding on. Because it always found it weird that I was like,
absolutely.
Sony is literally out bidding Microsoft on all this stuff. And I'm like, that makes no sense. But now it kind of makes a lot of sense when you already got an acquisition that's worth $7.5 billion. You kind of want to see that through before you start spending money other places. So I think that's why I think when Sadia came out and said that they're still looking to acquire more, I think now they're opening up and saying, okay, we got this out of the way. The big fish is out of the way. Now we can go after the stuff that, a lot of people thought we should have probably been going after in the first place, like some of that exclusive stuff. I think it just worked in Sony's favor that Microsoft was working on something that big that they didn't want to expend any more money anywhere else until it was done.
Forte,
that's just a shot in the dark. You never know exactly
Xbot, you have the mic next. I just want to do a quick shout out. Shout out to Pixel Slappa who says, Mooch, I'm out of here. The conversation, guys. Listen, the one thing that I like to reiterate, I haven't said this in probably a couple of months, and it's a great
Xbox
panel.
Can't take difference of opinions.
Well,
I noticed that.
It's not just that crap. This is the point of the matter here, guys, is that I love having a great talk show. I even said to DC, and Erica knows this, like nobody has to come on this show and agree with me. The point of the matter is to have a great debate, and there's things that I walked into tonight alone, and I felt one way, and the panel's already talked me into a different direction. So guys, you got to stop with this going and just listening to a show that's just a bunch of yes or no's in one direction. Like, this show is about conversation. It's about possibly having a great debate and maybe actually changing somebody's mind in a positive way. So it's not about coming on here and just being like, you know what, guys? Bethesda, Xbox, great. We'll see you next week. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what we do here. So you guys should be enjoying. I genuinely look so forward to Friday night to have
CrossFire.
Yeah, to have differences of opinion, and we're doing that right now, and
there's
it's fantastic.
Plenty of podcasts out there that'll just like sit there and agree with each other, and this isn't one of them. Yeah, exactly.
I just sit. I'm just a pixel out there. I hope you stick around. Enjoy the show. It's a great debate. It's a talk show. We're here to talk. So, Xbox, please take the mic back.
Yo, Mooch, real quick, and this is funny. I'm going out on a limb here saying this because the comfort zone is consoles. With the community we're in, and PCMR, Enrique, Erica.
Yes.
Okay, but that's the comfort zone, and I think that Satya was down for this acquisition.
Papa Satya.
Because of one of our topics that we're going to move into with Luna coming out, and Stadia is still around as well. Because Phil Spencer said that those are the competitors, and I think those are Microsoft's competitors at the end of the day. So with this acquisition, and again, me and Erica stating, all the chips are in on Game Pass and everything. They are making sure their stable is full as well to combat that front, the cloud streaming gaming, that what Phil and what Microsoft say their true competitors are. Am I saying that they're not looking at Sony? No, I'm not. That is that case by case basis right there. Case by case exclusives. Fill out their console / PC, their platform as a whole. Yeah. But I feel like that $7.5 billion, what they got the nod for that because they knew what was going on at Amazon. They know that Google can open up their wallet at any point in time.
And Amazon,
and they're either one, either Google or Amazon. They can open up their wallets at any point in time, buy up a huge amount of the gaming industry when it comes to these studios, and they looked at Bethesda and they're like, all right, well, we got it. We got to start solidifying now. They're like putting the ammo in the crates, getting ready, for a war on that front. I feel like
Xbox, that's actually a really good point. I've mentioned this on BRAP. One thing that Microsoft's done a really good job at, and I've been in the Microsoft ecosystem for 19 years.
Welcome back, too.
Yeah, well, I never left. Remember, I had Game Pass on PC.
No. You left and said you wasn't buying an Xbox.
No. I was still in the ecosystem. I was still in the ecosystem. That's all Phil cares about.
Xbox. What happened to Xbox is PC. PC is Xbox.
I'm going on PC. He can't come home. He's saying
he can come. No, he can come. He's my panel member. He can come home.
Hey, let me just. I'm a good father, Forte. That's all I got to say. Look, look. I think Xbox, you make a great point. I think the one thing that Microsoft's been really good at throughout the 19 years they've been in the console industry is they've always kind of been good at kind of knowing where the puck's going and being being ahead of the puck.
Sometimes they're a little too far ahead, man.
Yeah, but you know what? If you think about it though, like with the OG Xbox, like they got hammered for putting an Ethernet port. Like people are like, why would you do that? That's stupid. Like no one has broadband. Like why? And I'll never forget, who's gonna pay $50 a year to play with your friends online? Like that's crazy. Like people said that no one's gonna do it.
Right.
And here we are 19 years later, and
everybody does it.
And everyone does it. So I think that what you're saying, Xbox, and I agree. Like this move though was to solidify their position in that streaming services arena, which is maybe the next frontier, if you will. Who knows? That's still I think up for debate. But they're well ahead of Amazon and Stadia.
Let me do this, guys. I have an unbelievable list of outstanding super chats tonight. Let me just read some of these here because I'm falling behind. Panthorium says Microsoft will also make their money with DLCs, loot box games, collection sets. Keep in mind, all games are on Game Pass like Crossfire X, full price. Agreed with that. Sir X-Man says, until we see Cyberpunk 2044 Game of the Year. I'm sorry, Sir X-Man. I'm sure that was relevant to what we were talking about. I apologize for not getting into it sooner. Game Knob says, it's Microsoft trying to buy success instead of building it yet again. The great JD Gamer's back. He says, what happens when Microsoft buys 2 more major studios and the games are all available on Game Pass for $15 a month versus $70 a pop on PlayStation? If that's the case for 75% of AAA games in the future, then who chooses PlayStation? JD makes a point, but JD, I will say this much. Great point, but it does depend on what the games are. So let's just leave that there for a second. Shout out to Brap. He says, can we discuss the glorious...
When is it bad to buy games to support a platform and developers? I don't understand.
Crap, that's a great point.
How suddenly that's like a bad thing. Like I feel like Microsoft is creating... But yeah, there was. You could always rent games. You could literally always rent games as far back as I can remember.
And I always did.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
right.
What I'm saying is, but what I feel is Microsoft could be creating this group because that's a big argument now. Oh, we're going to be able to do this, and they're going to have to pay $70. It's like Microsoft is literally controlling every aspect of these games. You own nothing, and then I think people are going to come to the realize that, like, especially if you're into game preservation or some of those things, I think that's realistically. And everybody complained about DRM and all this kind of stuff 7 years ago, and now they're suddenly just okay with it that they snuck it all back in there because Game Pass is a great deal.
Great.
And I just feel like people are kind of just like taking a piss, like, oh man, but you got to pay. Like, people won't have a problem paying for something that's quality. And I think that there's a lot of people that underestimate that. You know what I mean? Like it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, we can look at it, and even the early indications are that PlayStation 5's the pre-orders are 3-1 in favor of PlayStation 5.
Can I say
mean,
go ahead, Eric.
That way, just how many they got out there.
I just want to say, like, I think it's funny how some people are kind of complaining, like, oh, they're going to have exclusive games. This is bad for gaming. We've been saying for years that we want Xbox to compete, right?
Absolutely.
We want Microsoft to make And everyone's
they should
like,
make them exclusive. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we want them to compete.
Yeah.
But then when this happens, everyone's like, no, not like that.
This.
Not like this. It's like you asked for this, right? So what's the problem?
No,
I think they should.
agree,
That's
yeah.
exactly what they should do.
Yes.
If Phil Spencer has an ounce of scrote, he'll go out there and make these games exclusive. Like not the way that he does it either. Like, well, case by case. No.
Yeah.
Flat out. You want to play these games, play them with something with Xbox in the title. End of story.
That's
Hey,
right.
Crap, real quick, you know this. If this was Sony doing this, would Sony put this? Would Sony make?
No, you would know right away. Exclusive. Is there any doubt once Sony bought Insomniac that all those games would stay exclusive? No, because you knew better, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing. Like people should, and the fact that they don't know better is Microsoft's own fault. You know, you have Phil saying in April that he doesn't like it when people assume a game will go to Switch or someplace else, and then a few months later, Ori 2 goes to Switch. You know what I'm saying? So that it's their own miscommunication for why people think that. And then even when he does interviews and says stuff like case by case basis, I mean, he's basically just leaving the door open to do that. Even Satya Nadella said they like their games and content to be on as many platforms as possible. I never thought we'd see an era where, Windows different things could be on Apple, but here we are.
Yeah.
Okay, like they're more interested in getting
Crap,
they're
can I
interested in getting their content on as on as many platforms as possible.
Let me just throw this out there, and I bet you the crap gamers and the Dreamcast guys of the world may run and make a video right after this. This is a great idea. Like, do you remember 2013, guys, when it was the biggest
that's a long time ago.
Do you remember the biggest no to ever talk about, which was DRM, and that was Microsoft that wanted to push it? Well, guess what? Now it's like that Star Wars movie. Now everyone's applauding DRM with glorious applause. And it's like, this is the thing that everybody hated in 2013. And now, because Microsoft...
Donnie D is probably like, damn.
Donnie D was like, Donnie D is literally like, what's his name there? The guy at the end of Dodgeball eating the chicken out of the bucket there. He's sitting there. He's like, that was my idea. I wanted to do that.
The funny thing is, he's like, man, the women aren't didn't throw their panties at me. I got ran out of Microsoft.
I got ran out of Microsoft.
Phil Spencer's like, man, he's the cologne guy. He's like,
you know what's funny is that like we all wanted to trade our games at a GameStop. Now we despise GameStop. We hope it closes.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know about that line that was standing outside my door.
GameStop's the only place that I've seen not canceling pre-orders. So
I know.
When it comes to the DRM, this is like business 101. When a company wants to take their consumer in a certain direction and they get a backlash from it, they will bring it out, they will do a 180, but then they will repackage it, make it look more favorable, and kind of like spoon feed it over time and kind of build it up again. It's something that
that's what I've been saying for the last year about
get
what
people
Microsoft
used to it.
Xbox.
Yeah,
they literally just took exactly what they wanted to do in 2013 and was like, oh, you don't like it? Okay, we'll change everything. The Kinect doesn't, you can't use the Xbox without the Kinect. Oh, we find a way to engineer it so it does.
That was Donnie's idea. We got rid of that. So
that was the biggest thing that a lot of people just don't realize.
You got to get Donnie D on Crossfire.
I could just see Donnie D. He'd be like, Peter LaFleur. But no, like, hold on a second. So nobody got the dodgeball reference. All right, real quick. Let me just get back to the super chat here. You guys are all fantastic.
Fucking Chuck Norris,
right? He's like fucking Chuck Norris.
Change the name of the show to the Ocho.
L for love, Mooch. I see a lot of people in the chat give me the L for love. I don't know what
they do. Crap, they love you, buddy. They do.
Love me, man. They do. Thank you.
Everyone loves the crap gamer. How do you not love the crap gamer? He's great.
So many fans. I love
it. Audible.
Same energy, right?
Same energy. Audible. So shout out to Audible.
Overused, most hated word.
Oh, I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
If Xbox can get to the point where they can have a game, and they're at that point, I think sooner or later, like 2023, 2024, if they can get to the point where Game Pass has a game in it every 3 months, like a really big game in there every 3 months, that's where I think it's got to be in order to keep people subscribed to it all the time. Because it's going to be like, if a game comes out in May, am I going to, even if I can play it in May, am I going to cancel my subscription in June? Because you might not be done with that game by then, and you might roll over to the next game. So once they get to a point where they can get at least 4 AAA games out a year of quality and space them out at least 3 months apart, you will always stay inside of that service. You won't ever cancel it. You'll just stay.
Shout out,
Mooch, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. Hustle's in the waiting room.
Thank you.
Hustle's here?
Yeah,
Lord.
Shout out
Where's
to
that
Hustle and
smile?
Motivate. Hustle, welcome to the show, buddy. Sorry if you were waiting there for a second. I didn't see the Discord.
So good. Y'all hear me? How I sound, man? I sound good.
Yes.
When the hell
Sound like
don't you
just came
sound
from
good?
Stairway to Heaven.
He always sounds good.
Hey.
Also, you sound like you like love talking slow jams. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You know, I had to be cool. I wanted to be super cool right now because I know we spoke about it earlier because I was listening to the podcast on the way home, but Xbox pretty much just pulled up on PlayStation front. Y'all was like, hey, Kratos, you bring him outside. Ellie, you know, bring her 8 fingers outside. You know, just bring them all outside because
8 fingers.
Don't forget Abby.
Spoiler alert.
Listen.
What about Abby?
So Hustle. Before we move on to the next topic, I want to get your take on this. Let me just take care of these super chats, and you got the mic right after that.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to do. Where did I leave off here? Here he is, right here. Shout out to Audible Fart who says, "This is Matt Bradley, Mooch. I never left." So Audible, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I didn't know you used to be formerly known as Matt Bradley. Now you're Audible. It's great. Sir X-Man says, "You know, Microsoft made $1 billion in stock on the announcement of Bethesda acquisitions. They made some of that money back in one day." Sir X-Man, I appreciate that. And why don't you talk to me on the side with stock options, and we can talk about that off the air. Y9 Power says, imagine Microsoft getting Battlefield deals. JD Gamer says, PlayStation did outbid Microsoft for exclusive time content. Then Microsoft said, hold my beer, we're buying the whole company. Sony doesn't want to get into an acquisition war with Microsoft. They'll lose badly, and more is coming. Humble Beast says, oh, I love the word conservative. Let's say that I thought he was going to say controversy. Conservative. Let's say the
Could be
15 million.
controversy.
Right, it could be in a second. As soon as I finish this line, 15 million plus Game Pass subs are all $1 every month. That's 180 million plus of recurring revenue annually. Yes, Humble Beast, we know that, but we also do know that. Aaron Greenberg has come out and said they're not making much money on Game Pass as it currently stands. Sir X-Man says, I love everybody in this community, even my mayonnaise friend. He's, of course, referring to the great Crap Gamer. The Ashton Lucas says, what's up,
Mayonnaise
boo?
free since 2016, the last MPD win
Wow.
from Xbox.
That's true.
2016?
That's
I
when
feel
the
bad
X
for
came out.
I feel bad for your
2016.
I feel bad for your
2016 when the S came out.
Gears 4. Yeah, Gears 4 came out, and they that was their last MPD win for Xbox console. Not even the One X got them an MPD win.
Damn.
So I mean, not only that, man. How many of you guys locked down your One X? I mean, Series X, or I mean, Series S. I mean, One S. Right? We all got. Nobody could use that, right?
Unfortunately,
The One X?
The One
One
XS.
The One S.
I'm confused.
The SXG. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, man, I can't wait for
Jesus, y'all
some of these
running with
some of these
Forte,
other ones,
hey,
man.
some
Come
people
on.
get confused. Forte, it happens, man.
Oh no!
Oh, it happens.
I get
They're
confused.
definitely in the minority.
I know what the difference between two words.
Well,
is.
listen,
Forte, you work at GameStop. Come on, man.
Yeah, but
come on,
Brap,
man.
you got to remember, people that walk into GameStop for the most part, except for holidays when you have the parents coming in and they're like, just give me what you got,
Let's
right?
be
Which
for
I
real. The people that got confused were the people that went on Amazon and just
right,
typed in
exactly.
Xbox
That's what I was gonna say.
and Amazon literally
If you
had both.
typed in-
Like, why
if-
would you
if
have
you-
both systems show up?
Because
Right.
it sounds like
Word
both
for word,
systems.
If you if you type One X, if you just typed Xbox Series X, it brought up the One X. So
That's what I'm
It-
saying.
it-
Who
right.
right. that? Amazon.
Well, whose
Yeah.
fault for putting it X again? Microsoft.
Whose fault is
They
it
could
to
have
not?
called it the Xbox. You know, like
Imagine if they
Look, man,
called it the
this
PlayStation 5
this is your bias kicking in, sir.
it's
Let
not
it go.
bias. It's not bias. I mean,
Listen,
come on,
you know the difference
Forte,
between an S and a, you know the difference.
Forte, I know.
There
but
are
I'm-
literally
Forte,
three letters in this
Forte,
name, and one
Forte.
of them is completely
Okay,
different than the other.
but it is pretty clear that some people were confused.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, I'll be
Some of those were bots, too.
If I type in Xbox with
Yeah.
Series X and they both come up and crazy.
Didn't it literally say like discontinued too?
Yes.
On the actual, and they still
that's
bought
why-
it.
Yeah.
Which is
They
crazy.
didn't
There
it say
is a theory.
$405?
But
Like,
there's-
oh wow.
Yeah.
There's still people that are buying old iPads right on
You know, I
eBay
saw-
because they just see iPad and they buy it. You know what I mean? They don't know.
I saw some people were like, "I'm going to get that new S," and then they got the Xbox One S.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I
I
like-
saw a theory that
once
there was
again.
bots. There were bots that were made that would automatically keep searching Xbox Series X and buying the first listing with multiple accounts to try and pre-order as many as possible. And since when you searched Xbox Series X, sometimes it still brought up the One X.
It
The
did.
bots
Shout
were
out to all
buying
the
them.
bots getting fooled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could be that.
Who knows though? Somebody's gonna be mad.
Who cares?
Not
If
me.
you're going to Walmart or Target to pick up a system, you ain't getting real help anyway. Let's be for real. You might walk out. You might walk out with a 1X.
Forte, that's my
It's a new
point. Though,
system.
but that's my. It's numerical differences are easier to ascertain. 4 versus 5.
We all know that, sir.
Okay, well, I mean, come on.
We're not going to disagree that PlayStation has the better naming scheme. We understand that, but we ain't gonna sit up here and act like there's this concern that most people don't know the difference between a word that starts with a zero and one that starts with an S.
I didn't say most. I said there's a chance to cause confusion based on the marketing.
Yeah. Okay.
Xbox would win if they just back in the day if they just called it like Xbox and then Xbox Revenge and Xbox Returns and Xbox Resurrection.
If that's the case, then Wii U would have sold more.
Xbox Revenge of the Sith. All right, real quick, I want to. I like that. I actually like where you're going with that. Let me read these few super chats, and I want to get Hustle's opinion on this real quick. Shout out to my girl, the Ashton Lucas. She says, "What's up, boo? Hashtag my Italian M&M. Good to see my girl Erica on here. Great conversation so far." And he says, "Heart for Crappy as well." There you go, Crap. A lot of love in the chat for Crap Gamer. Absolutely. Shout out to Luca. Shout out to Luca. Jose Cruz says, love the panel and their opinions. That's what we're here for each week. Jose, thank you so much for that. Sir X-Man says, give it up to Papa for keeping it under control. Shout out to Lethal Papa who's in the chat as well. TrueWiddy says,
what would we do if we didn't have somebody time out everybody that said something halfway funny about Xbox? Okay, good job.
You know, listen, Crap, he's a moderator. And he's moderating, and I appreciate that. The Crap Gamer's got his opinion. He knows what he's talking about too.
AEW.
TrueWiddy says, "Don't bother." I think he means don't bother me with all these Bethesda games or exclusives. I just get an Xbox when they're ready to come out. Fact is, I don't want a monopoly with this. Royal Boyle 78 says, "Mooch, what's good, chat? Just showing my support." Viper XT says, Sony bought Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, Guerrilla Games, Media Molecule, and Insomniac. You need to get the studios before you can create with them. That's an interesting point to a certain degree. JD Gamer says, nobody pays more for a product or service than they have to. So if I can get the same game for $15 a month versus $70 a pop, 15 will always win my money. JD, that is extreme, but don't get me wrong, that's a very top level comment. There's a lot more layers to peel with just the $15 in games. Because right now,
you know what?
If we were to roll through you know this, Forte, we talked about this off air, not prior to today's show, but in other shows, that when you do scroll through Game Pass, there's a lot of stuff in there that you really don't care if you play. You know what I mean? Like, there's some great games, and then there's some they're there to fill a spot, and it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it does get to a point where, and like you said, I don't think, and like you and Crap said, I don't think it's going to be there in the near future. It's going to be when all these games start coming out. But when we do get to 2024 and 2023 and stuff like that, and you start seeing games that are really, really good in this service, and let's say Microsoft does make them available on PlayStation, you're going to start looking at them as like, dude, every game that's coming out this year from Microsoft is $70 over here, but I can literally get them in a subscription service for this over there. It's not going to happen now, but it's going to be a decision that some gamers are going to have to make. And that's why I always say Microsoft has to do a great job to convince people that this is the best year to own multiple systems, because you're not going to move somebody off a PlayStation platform. People that want to play on PlayStation are going to play on it.
Thank you for saying that, Forte.
They got to find a way to get you to want to buy multiple or get it on PC.
Forte, you got to know something that and I know that you work at GameStop, but when I shop, I told you I'm a big fan of GameStop. I think you guys, I want GameStop to last forever, because to be honest with you, I personally, it's the last store where, it's the last.
That UPS guy saying boo.
No, the reason I want it's the last place to talk games and hang out.
Fair.
But, here's a little plug for Gaming Forte. Slow-Mo comes in. He says, Forte never gets confused in saying Xbox consoles, but can't say the name of our podcast. The DPS podcast every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Shout out to Slow-Mo. That's a great plug. I like that.
He paid for it. At least he paid for
He
that.
definitely did. Thank you, Slow-Mo.
That's called marketing. $5 marketing. Let's go, Slow-Mo. Good job.
Forte, you bring up a great point, though. Like, the next 3 or 4 years, like, we talked about this on BRAP, like, if Microsoft starts cranking out content that's, like, at the level of, like, some of the things that Nintendo puts out, Game of the Year contenders, 92, 95 Metacritic type first party exclusives, that could potentially change the conversation big time. If you think about having to spend $70 on a game, and now Microsoft's cranking out all these bangers, and you can get those for like $15 a month or whatever the case is, plus hundreds of other games. Right. That things get really interesting then. I think.
Yeah, I just like how the conversation has, like I said, throughout the whole week, it's about games now. It's not about, that's what this whole conversation has been about. Wow, Microsoft just went out and literally said, okay, we got no games. Bam, we got games now. If we didn't have games before, we got them now. And the biggest thing is, I think the game studios that Microsoft had before, you either had some that were super unproven, or you had some that have talent, but they haven't realized that talent, like 343. Or you have games that are on the cusp, or studios on the cusp of being great, like I forget the one of the shoot, Jesus Christ. Like, what's the name of that freaking studio, man?
Which one? NXile? Rare?
No, the one thing about NXile, I like the fact, because now that they have all of the Fallout developers under one roof, there is a lot of opportunity there. You got NXile, who did the original ones. You got Obsidian, and they did Fallout New Vegas.
They need to take over Fallout.
There. So you can literally spin off all of that stuff, and you can literally just take Fallout wherever the heck you want to. I like what Crab was talking about with the crossover that you can hardly have with Master Chief and Doom Guy and Doom Slayer.
Have trash.
Have Slayer kill Master Chief.
Man.
There is so many different things that they can do around that type of stuff.
And Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and now that they have all of these, now the thing is with these Bethesda studios, we know that they actually have talent. We know that they can bring fire IP. They just have to get back to what made Bethesda games good, and that wasn't
in charge of Halo, man.
That we missed out on.
Whatever crap that is they got now, put it on Halo. I think you'd be good to go, man.
I think a lot of it had to do with ZeniMax just not wanting to, like, ZeniMax probably saw, like, they just didn't want to be in it anymore. They was like, okay, let's go this whole games of a service route. And some of these games don't need to be that. Like, people are already upset with Fallout 76 when they found out, why is this going games as a service? So it automatically just made people mad at the game just when they found it out. And let's be for real, as much as Dishonored is probably one of the best stealth games you could play as an action game, stealth games aren't the most desirable games in that type of franchise. Right. People don't really really gravitate to those type of games. And when it comes to Wolfenstein, let's be fair, it's like Transformers. Wolfenstein is a really fun game to play through, but not everybody plays those type of games. It's like I said, you're kind of cannibalized by the games that do like millions and hundreds and thousands of millions of whatever consoles. And so you got like Call of Duty and everything. And then these games never come out at the right time. They always come out when something bigger is coming out that really hurts them.
Forte, I think the thing with Wolfie that hurts Wolfie, it's a great first-person shooter, really is.
It is. It's one of the best.
I think the challenge with that game is that you can't release an FPS during this time now and not include multiplayer.
100%.
That just kills it.
Yeah,
I was
I
waiting to
agree.
see what he said. Yeah, 100%. Well, we're just at a time now where everybody talks about how many hours long is it. That's like the obsessive thing of every gamer.
Yes.
I'm bad about it. I say it even in my videos sometimes. I enjoyed all 20 hours of this. And when there's multiplayer, you can only put a question mark. It definitely improves the value in people's minds.
Improve the value of it.
So when somebody's like, Wolfenstein's a 10 out of 10 game and I enjoyed it for 5.5 hours, people are like, whoa, what? I'm not buying that.
Right. That's a very good point.
I disagree with that point.
It was a great experience for the 7 to 8 hours you put into it.
Go ahead, Hustle.
Oh, shout out to you too, Hustles, man.
No. Erica, go ahead first.
I was going to say with DC bringing up the whole how long is a game now, do you guys think now with these games going on Game Pass, maybe that won't be such a bad thing now? It'd be, it's only 10 hours, but hey, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. But you know what? But Erica,
that could be the bad route.
I think I was just gonna say that's
given
it.
Game Pass excuse, like if it's it's a
rated
game. Oh well, it's all Game Pass,
that's
right?
What I'm saying. It could be a bad thing, sort of.
We all kind of say that about everything, right? And then that don't get me wrong, Erica. What you said holds a lot of water. Actually, that is a true statement. But like Xbot, big fan of Battletoads. Here's me, right? Mooch is kind of like this. It's in Game Pass. I'll get to it when I get to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's in Game. It wasn't that good. It was in Game Pass. I'll play it if I want to. to. Like, that's the thing. I said this, and I know, and guys, please in the chat, don't think it means this literally. It doesn't. But guys on the panel, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, okay? Please let me know. If I'm wrong, please express it. But there's a little bit of the polish that comes off of a game when it's in Game Pass, because, and I'll give you an example, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is a fantastic game. It's a fantastic game, and I actually beat it about a month and a half after it came out, and when I beat it, I still got the rare achievement. So you have 8, 10, 12 million people in Game Pass, and less than 2% beat it when I beat it a month and a half after. Right? And you might go, so what, Mooch? People have different schedules. I get that. But like The Last of Us, did you see everybody in The Last of Us? First of all, it's a 34-hour game, and everyone's taking a picture of when they completed it and putting it on Twitter, right?
I'm playing Persona 5
I mean, but
Royale.
you're going from one extreme to the other. I mean, Last of Us is literally it's like up there with game of the generation.
Yeah, but this is
stuff.
but Will of the Wisps was
Same
like
thing happened
Xbox's
like that with
only
God of War
big
and
game this
Spider-Man.
year.
I mean, I'd be curious to see how Will of the Wisps compared to the first one, as far as how
finish
many
rate.
beat it. Yeah,
That's a
that would
great
be
point.
something to look
Well,
at.
many less people played it. They only announced 2 million quote unquote players for it. I think the first one did over 5 million, but you have to look at that was 2014. There was much less competition. Since that point, how many side-scrolling, puzzle platformers came out? Like, there's literally hundreds of them. So
it's just
even.
I'm sorry. Finish.
I was just going to say, even though it's a good game, people have we've had so much of that. It's the same thing with Wolfenstein. That first one came out of nowhere in 2014, was really good. Then they came out with a second one, and then an expansion for that, and then a standalone thing. Right? It's like too much too soon.
VR and stuff. Yeah.
Well, and that's what, I think I was going to make that point. You made it really good there, Crap. But to play off that as well, certain genres just have an insane completion rate. I'm playing Persona 5 Royale right now. To get the platinum trophy, and that takes about 220 hours.
Oh my gosh.
No. Here's the crazy part that's blowing my mind. 60% of players have it.
What?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That is
huge. So think about that. Think of the millions of people that are buying that, and the fact that all of them are sitting down for all 200 hours.
That's wild.
When I beat the new Battletoads, 3% have beat that. That's what I'm talking about. Up top, 3%.
Well, that just lets you know
up top.
The barrier. That just lets you know the barrier entry for some games. Like, there's a lot of people when they see Persona, no freaking way am I jumping in. So their number don't get inflated by people that just picked up the game just to play it.
Yeah.
When you see that's 60%. That's because most of the people that bought that game are the people that are in that life. They're into that grind for that type of game. But they just didn't get there yet.
But even like using that like the example you just gave, like even like a Souls game doesn't have that percentage of platinum, and Souls is has a religious following per se, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like Dreamcast guy, I think Persona 5 has done like 4 million. I could be wrong. It's done a couple million, I think. That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, but I see a lot of people buy Souls games and then they give up in the first weeks. Like, no, bro,
too hard for them.
Yeah, we call those people little bitches.
That's the thing. They look cool. Souls
Get
games
good?
look cool. It's
good, right?
Until you die 50th time in the first 2 minutes.
Get bullied, kid. Just get bullied.
I mean, to its credit, though, Persona 5 is an amazing game with an amazing story. And I think maybe just the completion rate is so high because people want to see that story through. It's that type of experience.
Well, and you're right, because a lot of the trophies are like, get laid. And it's like, hell yeah, I want to see
Who doesn't like that trophy?
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
But it's
get down with the teacher in your class.
You can. Oh yeah, one of the teachers.
Spoilers.
One of the teachers turns out to be a hooker. One of the teachers turns out to be a maid hooker, and there's a line to do shit.
Talking about the waifu right there.
Yes, and that's one of the trophies. One of the trophies is order something off the special hooker menu. It's like, hell yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Hold on.
Go ahead, Hustle.
No, go ahead, Hustle. Go ahead, man.
I'm just saying, we're talking about Persona. Erica, you'll appreciate this. The top waifu is Lady An. There is no argument. There is no discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I think what we have here,
Lady An.
Yes, indeed.
Next topic.
I would agree with that.
Erica with the K rules. Let me just say that. I think what we actually have here in terms of everything that's going on, man, like, just look at the selection of games that we have. You have something like Persona, and Dreamcast guy, you had brought it up earlier. You said it's like 60% of people have that platinum, but you guys, and I think Forte had brought it up earlier. You got to understand that everybody who bought Persona 5. Like, even though it was the highest selling one in that series, they would have bought Persona anyway. So of course they're gonna redo it.
That's true.
And
only
Dreamcast
diehards, yeah.
Yep, and I'm interested because I'm 40 hours in that game myself in the vanilla version, and I just bought Royale not too long ago. Do you have to max out a Persona, certain confidant at fully maxed out status in order to get the extra semester? Don't say
three. You have to max out 3.
It's 3 of them.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Oh my god!
But two of them are real easy. So it's basically 1 full one and then 2 half ones.
Oh my god! Okay, go the DM me behind the scenes on who the. Oh my god! That's
you can Google it. There's a video that actually explains it with no spoilers. That actually tells you who you have to do, and it also says by what date, because there is a specific date, and they do it with no spoilers. I looked at it several times.
Hey, I don't mean to derail this, making a Persona podcast, but I got a question, Dreamcast guy. I finished Persona 5. I have Persona 5 Royale. I got like the deluxe edition that came in the box, and I haven't unwrapped it yet. Like, it's just I don't know why I don't want to like unwrap it, take the game out. You know all the stuff that came with the box edition that I paid $100 for. But my question with Royale: should I play it though? Like,
the extra content.
Is it worth it?
Content is legitimately fantastic. The bigger thing is it's like a halfway remaster. They took all the character models they made for the dancing game, so everybody actually looks PlayStation 4 now instead of looking like a PlayStation 3 game. The new chapter is great, and they actually added in like literally 14,000 new lines of dialogue. So all the times when they're just sitting in a diner and there's text bubbles, that's all fully voiced.
Oh, okay. I gotta play it again.
Yeah, it's so good. Well, and they remixed the dungeons a little bit. Best 40. I bought it. They're selling it right now for $40, I think. And man, best $40.
Wait, Royale's 40 right now?
Yeah, Royale is 40 right now.
Oh, pick it up.
I might pick it up. Listen, shout out to Nick Marcel. He was like, Mooch, this is one of the games you really got to play on PlayStation before the end of this generation. And I'm sitting there, and he's like, wait for the Royale. When that finally came out, I'm like, ooh, $60. I'm like, let me see what's going on. And then I saw that it was going to be the PS Plus collection is getting Persona 5, the day one version, not Royale.
Yeah.
But for $40, $20 off. And DC, you're not the only one. I know Eric. I definitely know Hustle's talking about it. I know a lot of people that just are in my ear about it. Brap was picking up. So I'll definitely, I got to check that out if that's on sale.
You could definitely, I put in over 100 hours, about 130 hours to the game. It's.
I got to check it out, see what it's about.
But it's good.
It's
good. It's good. The story is so good. Good.
So it's an anime with combat. It's great.
Let me do this, guys. I have about 5 super chats, and then I'm going. Music. DC, get ready. I'm turning the hot lamp right above your head. The next topic is yours, okay? Let me just get through these super chats here. Shout out. Sir X-Man says, Mooch, if you had an Android, I thought you were Razer. He goes, I thought you were Razer controller for your phone so you could play xCloud, but you have an Apple. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'm gonna be trying Luna out, which, by the way, Erica named her cat after the new Amazon.
Me and Mooch out here living that Apple life,
right? That's right. That was so funny, Erica, when you're like, do not think I named my cat after Amazon streaming. She didn't. Shout out to Killer E305.
I was first. I want royalties, damn it.
Not like this.
He says, why didn't you guys talk about the GameStop employees you've been scalping Xbox and PS5 pre-orders? We'll if we have a couple more minutes at the end, Killer E305, we'll talk to Gaming Forte about that. Sir X-Man says, I would buy you a Razer controller. Sir X-Man, you can buy me whatever you like. I appreciate that. I'm a mooch, for crying out loud. Mastered UI Tony says PlayStation Studios just need to do what they do best, and that is destroy every other game in the industry. UI Tony's not necessarily wrong. They pretty much own this generation. Humble Beast comes back and says, those living in the past often suffer with rejection. Still love you, crap. Hit me up if you want a shoulder to lean on, bruh. Well, there you go, crap. You got a friend in need. He's just saying he's there for you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I got my PlayStation 5 pre-order in.
He's fine. The crap seems very happy.
So everybody got all their next-gen systems already pre-ordered that's on the panel?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Except for our 3080 cards. That's another card.
Yeah, I couldn't get my 3080 card or 3090
I'm waiting
card.
on that.
Yeah, that'll be next year.
I got both pre-ordered at a GameStop because I'm a hypocrite.
No, DC, I got news for you. You want that trade-in? No, actually, DC doesn't trade in. DC's a collector. He keeps consoles.
That's true. I'm a dumbass. I got hundreds of games. I'm like, must keep them sealed.
You're not a dumb. DC, you have the best backdrop on YouTube, for crying out loud.
You do.
Thank you.
That's true.
Like, that's what right? When you watch somebody talk about video games, you want to see video games.
Dreamcast guy, stupid question. Do you have Skies of Arcadia?
I have both versions of it. I have it on
Oh,
Dreamcast,
Brap,
complete in box,
Brap.
and I have it on.
I
on
know,
GameCube,
I know.
complete
Brap,
box.
have you listened to?
I have. I just had to ask.
He's got everything. And he's got
I thought that's a stupid
not only
question.
that, then he has the American version, and sometimes if it's a Japanese developer, he has the Japanese version.
I do, yeah. Like Shinmu, I have like 9 different versions of each of the Shinmus because I have the limited editions in each region and all the basic editions in every region.
Now, when you say
goodness.
sailors,
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking for them. God damn it!
So here's a hot.
You might have the best collection. Period, man.
I got a hot topic here. We did talk about it before the show. Me and DC got a chance to kind of go back and forth. I really won't give my opinion on this. I'll give it at the end if I get a chance. DC, you did a video today on it. It was basically getting into these whole Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition costing $70. And there was an article that you read. Pardon me for not having the editor's or the columnist's name, but you said Sony maybe being a bit anti-consumer, and I'm paraphrasing, you didn't, I don't believe, use those words, but you were using words that were just saying, I'm not okay with $70 hike up, and I think that the only reason we are okay with that is because the industry knows they can charge it and will pay it. But go ahead, DC, take it away.
There was an article over on pushsquare.com quoting the famous NPD analyst by the name of Matt Piscatella. And Matt Piscatella has basically said now gamers will happily pay $70 for each and every PlayStation 5 game. And the crux of my video was that, yes, the market will accept it, but I don't know if happily pay is the correct word. And I say this as a person, as you guys have seen, has hundreds and hundreds of games on my wall. I'm okay paying full price. I'm totally fine with full price. I know that we're paying to get it day one. We are the guys who have to play this for our jobs. We want to play everything. $70 though seems like that. I'm annoyed that the barrier keeps going up. I'm annoyed that it's just going to keep getting ratcheted up. These guys have enough money. These guys have absolutely, look at Bobby Kotick of Blizzard, got like a $44 million bonus last year. It's like these people are not going broke. They're doing this just because they know they can milk us.
I disagree with that, and I'll prove the first point.
Spider-Man,
I'm
go
on
ahead, 'cause I got after you.
Target.com right now. Spider-Man, the OG Spider-Man, with I guess this is all the DLC too, is $25 and it's $70 with wait, does that DLC come? Oh, does the Miles Morales version, does it come with everything?
Yes.
Does it come with all the DLC?
Ultimate.
And so that's so the Miles Morales specifically is the weird example to give. So if you just want the Miles Morales story, that is $60. If you want it with the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man in it as the PlayStation 5 edition, that one is $70. But they said that
I thought it was $50.
It's
if
50.
you just got
It's 50
Miles
bucks.
Morales.
50. Oh, yeah.
It's 50.
Yeah,
It's
50 for Miles Morales, it's 70 if you get it with the original remastered
it's that,
Spider-Man.
and then they said $70 for Demon Souls, and they've already said that they plan on pricing like other first party. The games that are being made for the PlayStation 5 are going to be $70. It sounds like.
Right.
We can blame NBA 2K for this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and Call of Duty apparently.
And Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Cold War.
I tried to tell people NBA was going to concede anyway.
So my thing is this. I'll say this much, and then I want to hear what the panel has to say. In DC, great video today. I'm torn.
Thank you.
I'm torn because, listen, we're consumers. We're customers first, right? Nobody on the panel that I'm aware of is making a percentage on any of these games. So DC's points, as far as I'm concerned, when I pull my wallet out to pay for a game, I totally agree with you. There definitely is enough money out there in this industry. There's also the microtransactions for all kinds of things like skins, etc., which don't affect gameplay or it's not pay to win. They're making hand over fist. We know this now. Like all this stuff is kind of public. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
The other end of it is, you know, when you saw Insomnia come out and made the tweet that said, we worked really hard on this. And, you know, I want to take, and the same way I brought everybody back to 2013 with DRMs, if you guys remember back to 2014, 2015, 2016, when the industry was doing well but not booming like it is right now, you know, the gaming industry, I mean, I think that we were all sitting there saying, you know, these developers need money. These developers need this because, you know, they work so hard. They're doing crunch. They're working 90-hour weeks for months at a time. They don't see their families, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have a situation where the price goes up, and they explain to you why the price is going up. And it seems like, you know, these guys are not making the amount of money that maybe we think on the developer level. But at the same time, it's a situation where I don't mind, and DC said this, and maybe that's what Matt Pescatella was saying as well. I don't mind paying that if it's the game and the quality that I want. And let me just give one example, and then I want the panel to take it away. Listen, guys, everybody in the chat, please just hear me out. You can buy a steak anywhere. Like anywhere. And I'm not kidding, right? Applebee's has their come into Applebee's New York style, New York strip steak with a baked potato, not. Right? And this, well, it says New York strip. It says New York strip steak, right? It's New York strip, blah, blah, blah. And it's $14.99 and you get 2 sides and you get a dessert. Okay. Then if you go to the steakhouse down the road, their New York strip is $55. And you know what you get with it? Nothing. You got to buy the potatoes and the vegetables, and everything is a la carte. The dessert is extra.
For the experience.
Well, okay, so the experience is the great game in this sense, right? So, and the taste and the quality of the meat. So, my point being here, when we're getting back into games, do I think it should be $70 across the board? No. But if a game is really a AAA or a quadruple A in the future, and it is that great, and you know that the quality is inside the contents of that game, I'm asking the question, does it bother you to pay the extra $10? I for myself personally, whether it be an unbelievable cut of meat being steak, or whether it be a game that's just unbelievable to pay, like, I'm a Last of Us fan. I think Naughty Dog pretty much can do almost, at this point, things can change in the future, no wrong. Would I have paid $69.99 for The Last of Us 2? I'm not going to lie to the panel, and I'm not going to lie to the chat. Yes, I would have. So I guess that's my point, and I want to hear what you guys think about it, because you're all consumers as well.
Mooch, real quick, I just before the panel chimes, I just want to say one thing real quick about the price increase. You know who's not getting a price increase?
Who?
PC,
baby.
Oh, wow. I completely fell for that. I completely fell for that. Now, I heard you guys say this on Brap. I heard you guys say this on Brap on Wednesday night. I know you guys discussed it. But listen, I got news for you, Brap. I would never use... Never's a strong word, right? I wouldn't say the PC will never go to 70, but you're probably not going to see it in the immediate future.
If it does go to 70, it's not going to be for any remaster. Because guess what? All the remasters, they just instantly give you on PC for free. Let's be for real.
Shout out to...
Let's be for real. Let's be for real. It's Spider-Man. Listen, this is the thing that's funny.
What'd you say, Brad?
I said, Erica, preach.
Preach. I was just going to say, like, if Demon Souls comes to PC, which, it might, there's no way that's going to be 70.
Hell no.
Well, no.
And not only that, but even when it does come out full price, there's other sites where you can get many discounts and things like that.
Shout out to Green Man Gaming.
Green Man Gaming, right?
Green Man Gaming, yeah. And they're legit, too. Legit. So even when they are that price, it's like we could still get it cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
And Erica, we don't have to pay for online and all the other stuff,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Hustle, go ahead, Hustle. Hustle, I hear Hustle's definitely got something on this point.
Oh, yeah, Hustle's look here, baby.
Hey, in terms of like the console experience, if you're asking me what I pay, $70 for a game, I've gone on record and said this before. I don't know if you guys have heard of the game Celeste. Eric, I know you have. I know you played it and beat it. I would have paid more than I think it was worth 20. I would have paid 50 for that experience, because that's a really good game to me. That game, that's
what I'm saying, Hustle, right? I
would definitely. What's up? What's up, Mooch?
No, I was gonna say, so you're agreeing with me in the fact that I'm saying not beauty in this sense, but the content is in the eye of the beholder, right? So if you're enjoying that content, you're willing to pay that. Now, listen, the market will dictate what happens, period. It doesn't matter how Mooch feels, doesn't matter how Hustle feels, or Brap, or Erica, or Crap, doesn't matter. But I mean, realistically speaking, the market will dictate that. But like I said, if you have the Call of Duties, and you have the NBA 2K21s, and you have these other things, and DC, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if necessarily every game can dictate the $70 price tag.
Yo, guys, what's going on here is
here.
If you look at what happened beginning of the
they're not all 70 though.
Beginning of the PS3 and 360 era. Before that, we were paying like $50 for games. Then they went up $10. And there were games that were kind of like, there were, Need for Speed Most Wanted was on the OG Xbox and the 360.
Oh, yeah, I remember that,
And the 360 version was $10 more.
Yes.
And, people did make a big thing about that at that time. And what happened a few months down the road, a year down the road, 2 years down, all of a sudden it became $60 was the normal price for games. And that's the same thing that's going to happen now. I don't know what, like, I can understand people getting upset that they're, the games are going to be more money. But, we went 2 generations before they went up anymore.
I mean, the thing is that, and a lot of people have been saying this is not an original point, but I wish that we had more of a sliding scale of game value. I wish that, like, I wish that there were single player games that would be $40. I wish there were more really good indie games that were $30 instead of just being $20.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is, because people always say the counter argument is when Elder Scrolls comes out, Elder Scrolls 6. It'll probably be $100 in that ecosystem because people will be like, "Oh,
not only that, the sleeper hits that come out. Say, like, a game didn't have a lot of production into it, didn't have a lot of money, but it came out and it blew up, and people are like, "Yo, this
Fall
is
Guys."
Fall Guys. I'm about to say that. Yep.
What's to stop them from jumping that price up? It's like, oh well, no, this game is literally in the $30-$40 mark. I know it came out at 20, but look at all the praise and acclaim, man. We gotta jump the price up here. That's a very dangerous cliff to walk on, bro.
So the problem with the conversation really just comes down to, it's all subjective. It really just comes down to the individual that's buying these items. The monetary value of $1 is different to everybody on this podcast. I will tell you the biggest thing for me would be is I would literally have to think about the games I buy more than just willy-nilly going out and say, oh, I want to get this game, or I want to get that game, because as much as it's only $10, that kind of adds up over the course of all the games that, especially us as the hardcore, buy throughout a year. Yeah. So I think that's the number one thing you're really going to think about. Like, hey, is this game worth the amount of money I'm about to spend on it? And then on top of that, you got to start thinking about discounts and stuff. Like I always tell people every year, I can't believe that as many people that buy some games like NBA and Madden, they buy them 3 months before the holiday, and all those games literally 2 months later are half off. And I'm like, y'all literally pay $60 for these games, and they're going to be more. I mean, less halfway through. So that's
really all they buy. I think some people, that's just all they buy. They're dumb.
That's another thing, because you got to think, just because people are spending 70, like that was my biggest argument about when, like Brad just said, 2K started this. I was like, well, guess what, Brad? This ain't gonna matter, because them saying on top of you need the next gen version, you have to spend $100 to give it. And I was like, that doesn't matter, because the people that play that game buy that version of the game anyway. And on top of it, you're spending $200 on top of it and all of the microtransactions in the game. So the value of $1 is completely different to everybody when it comes to this stuff. Some people are going to be like, hey, I'm cool. Like I spent over $200 on Destiny 2 when it comes to the base game, to everything that's out for that game. And guess what? I got my money's worth. But guess what? Everybody got it for free in Game Pass on the 22nd. So am I mad that I paid all this money for something that people are literally
Forte, I and you know me, I hate to interrupt, but I got to tell you something. We almost have to stop saying that, right? It's not free in Game Pass, right?
I'm talking about fun. Well, nothing is for. Well, listen, the only way to really talk about it's free in a subscription service that 90% of us that talk about this stuff have.
Well, yes,
and when I say we have it for multiple years.
I saw a couple, and Brap, I'm going to give you the mic in a second. I do want to bring this up, and I saw a couple people in the chat saying that it won't happen for a while, which, by the way, I agree with. I agree with the people in the chat that said it won't happen for a while.
What?
But if we're gonna say that these games are going to $70, listen, I want to remind everybody. Everybody loves to forget the mathematics of the past, right? Everyone remembers what everyone said in the past, but nobody remembers the mathematics or the outcome of the past. Like, here's the deal. Netflix used to be $8.99. It's not. It's not. And you used to get a disc with that. You used to stream and get one disc that you wanted to your house, right? Right. So now it's whatever, $12, $13, $14.99. So listen. And I'm not using the PC as an example because I know it went from beta to not beta. I got that. So I'm not going to use the PC example for Game Pass. But guys, Game Pass is not going to be $9.99 for the rest of your lives. It's not. No. It's going to go to $12.99, and the $14.99 is going to go to $16.99, and then 2 years later it'll go to $18.99, and the other one that's $12.99 will be $14.99. Listen, that's
I think you can only predict one.
You know what, Mooch?
no, I don't know. That Xbox, that's not true. That's like saying from now on, Xbox, for the rest of your life,
Not
milk is going to be $3.
But you
Come
know
on,
what?
like that's not true. It's not true.
I'm
Let
not
me-
I'm just saying it's not that uniform. That like 2 years after that first.
Okay.
one,
2,
get that
3,
second-
4
Okay,
years. It doesn't matter.
Xbox,
We went.
hold
Wait.
on,
We
hold on.
went 20. We went 20 years without going from $59.99 to $69. Right.
But
So
then
what I'm
just
saying to you is,
just like with Netflix, not only that, you also got to think about the absorption numbers as well, and the people that are willing to pay more. Like,
well, the market. Oh, that's what I said with the $70. The market will dictate. Go ahead, Hustle.
it isn't. My bad, yo.
No,
No,
sorry,
I
Hustle.
just wanted to. I want to echo that point, though, Mooch. Yeah, of course it's going to go up. Microsoft just spent
Yes.
$8 billion. Like, I'm surprised that price hasn't gone up. Yeah, listen, I'll give it about 2-3 years. That price is going up to
Hustle.
$20.
Yeah, but Hustle.
What's that?
That's my point. You're proving my
Yeah.
point. What I'm saying to you is that at least you get that. It will go up. And the point of the matter is that there will be a threshold where people say, you know what? I'm already paying $14.99 for Netflix. I'm already paying $9.99 for Hulu. I'm already paying this for Amazon
let's
Prime.
be for real,
Right?
though, Mooch.
No. Forte, more people. We've stopped. We stopped. No.
In Netflix and then what you're doing for your people kind of.
I don't think so. I think when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, Forte, people have a budget, and enough's enough. And listen, if you're only playing, if you're only playing Fallout 5 when it comes out in the future, you're just gonna buy Fallout 5. You're not gonna pay the $10 or $14 a month for Fallout 5.
But
'Cause you're
that's a
gonna keep
completely
it.
different
You're
argument
playing it.
right there. Like if you're only buying one game, you're not even looking at Game Pass. Yeah, Game Pass is for people that wants to play multiple games. See, that's the like if you're a person that just watches certain movies, like if you don't even watch TV, you may get Netflix just for the one thing, like Stranger Things when it comes on just to watch because you like the show.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna cancel it. But if you're one of those people that just like to watch a lot of TV or you like to watch a lot of different things, you're going to be the person that's going to keep it and you're going to pay for it throughout the whole year. So it's a completely different demographic when you're talking about people that are just buying for one game versus people that want to play a multitude of different things. And at a certain point, there's going to be people look at, even if this thing goes to $25, they're not looking at that as $25 a month. There's literally a science behind it. They're literally saying, oh, it's $25 today, and I get all of this stuff now. They don't even think about
Wait, what was that service, Forte?
2 months from now. They're
Forte.
thinking about now I'm getting it for literally a quarter I'm paying for the other one.
Forte, what was the service? Was it GameFly where you could rent the games?
Yeah, GameFly.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of
it was freaking expensive for 2 games.
Yeah, but Game Pass is the digital version of GameFly. And
Yeah, but you got to send back the games with GameFly. You can only have at most, what was it? 3
yeah,
games
but you
out?
could but you could pick the game you wanted to play. Where here you got to play what they put in your face. You know what I'm saying?
but all-
So
but
you
we're
know what I
also
mean?
talking about, it all comes down to what this all comes back to Microsoft.
when you don't like what's in the buffet, you don't go back till they change the menu.
Well, this
You know
is
what I'm saying?
all
Hey, Mooch,
The
yes.
world is going
now,
into digital.
right now, the games aren't what people want. Now, what happens in 3 years when these games start releasing
Forte.
and they are actually good? Then people will start paying that
Well-
money.
Okay, let Hustle chime in.
Games in there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me jump in here. I gotta agree with Mooch on this. Forte, it's this fact right now, and we're actually going through it right now, whether we know it or not. Ubisoft has their own paid service, correct?
Yeah, only on
Yes.
PC.
On PC.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's great
Okay.
being on PC.
Ubisoft has their own thing.
is
EA
amazing.
has their own service, correct? EA Origins,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And EA access to it. I think it's another one.
Yep.
Yo, you're gonna get tired of paying $10 here, $15 here, and then I guess
Facts.
another 10 with Game
Yes.
Pass. That's exhausting already. Instead of me saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna be able to play all of those games at once," let me just rock with Game Pass right now because of the Bethesda stuff. I'll go back to EA in a minute if a new Mirror's Edge or something comes out, and I'll go back to Ubisoft when the Division 3 or something like that pops.
Well, the first
all my
thing
people
is-
playing it.
Yo,
So you're going to trade off. Everybody's not going to pay for that all the time. So I got to agree with Mooch on that
Well,
point.
the
And that's
thing is,
Hey,
comes
Hustle. People do that with Netflix right now.
I was gonna
hey,
say
Netflix and
Yeah.
Hulu, right? I do that too.
I got
Yeah.
Hold on at the same time.
Hulu.
We're forgetting a huge wild card here, and that is the people who forget to cancel. There
And-
are
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the gym membership.
Yes, the
The
gym
dumbass
membership.
demographic.
People, Netflix people who keep saying they don't need it no more, but they keep the services because they just are lazy, and that's going to happen. They're already doing it. There's a bunch of people doing that.
Yeah, but
Microsoft is dependent on that.
the thing about it is, here's the other thing that's going to happen with time and Xbox. I'll give you the mic right after this.
Okay.
I think the fact of the matter is this, though. Once we start seeing these $7.5 billion acquisitions like we're seeing, Microsoft's not going to... Remember how much they paid? It was rumored they paid $9 million to get the rights for Devil May Cry 5. Those deals, I think, are going to start to go away, and they're just going to put the content in that with their 23 studios and small indies and 360 back compact games. And again, that's when you're going to see, and you know what, Erica, I am a huge fan of the gym membership, whatever you want to call it, like issue we all have, right? Yep.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will say what Hustle said is a good point. That's the thing, because everything, not just gaming, but everything entertainment right now is on a monthly basis. Like even HBO Max, like HBO is like, they don't even care if you subscribe to your like cable provider anymore. They just want you to get the app. AMC has an app. CBS, you like Star Trek? Sorry, watch it on the app or don't watch it at all. Like there is a time, and everyone is kind of already kind of choked up on it right now. And what I'm saying to you is this, like I'll use myself as an example because it's not fair to talk about the masses. Me, myself, personally, I took advantage of the dollar deal as many did on the panel. I have Ultimate Game Pass till June of 2022. It matched out my gold, right? They did that deal back a year and change ago. Fine, great. Once that's expired, I am not going to go ahead and buy a year of Game Pass. When, let's just say Fallout 5, like we all said, let's hope Microsoft does make it exclusive. Fallout 5 is exclusive to the Xbox platform. I will buy a month of Game Pass for $9.99, if it's still that at the time, and then I will play Fallout 5, and when I'm done, I'm done. And that's it. Now, Microsoft doesn't care. That's fine. But instead of Microsoft getting my $60, they got my $10. That's fine. They're happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Instead of they don't have a promotional thing for you to get in for another year.
Well,
like they did.
okay, Forte, if they want to lure Mooch back in with a great deal, guess what? I'm back. I'm back. But I'm not paying $14.99 a month again for Ultimate. No way, for a year.
Guys,
no way.
These companies, they're already thinking about the long term. If you look at, because Mooch was talking about $10 here, $10 there, all these different streaming services and stuff. They have already come up with the solution to this, and you see it with like Disney and Hulu kind of like coming together with their combined service.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And that's what you're going to see in the future.
I hope so.
Not just be Game
It's
Pass.
combined because Disney owns both.
That's true.
There's other
Disney owns ESPN. Disney owns
ESPN
Hulu.
and Hulu, yeah.
Disney,
Yeah, owns everything.
When I signed up for Hulu and Disney and ESPN Plus.
Well, okay, then you look at EA Access, right? EA Access, which is going to be in Game Pass as well, and that's EA.
And I was
Microsoft doesn't own that, and that's going to be an EA Access as well. So, I can see them in the future grouping up these services, having bundle deals, because
like cable.
This is where
cable.
This is where society is going right
So we're going to spend $200 a month to play games.
But people are already revolting against that kind of. They're doing the cut the cord. They're doing the like, hey, I'm gonna. There's apps now that tell you, what you're spending and what you're not using.
You read a business 101. You repackage what people are revolting with, and you spoon feed it to them until you get them right back to the direction.
I just gotta say, like when it hits $20, it's gonna be a lot. $20 a month. It's going to be a lot harder for people to swallow that.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying anything.
I'm just saying it's going to be a lot harder.
$240 for a whole year for a library of games that you really have access to every day.
And just to kind of throw this out there too, because everybody was talking about the $70 price. Like that's not just a PlayStation thing. I mean, there's going to be, and we don't know what Microsoft is going to price their new first party AAA stuff because they don't have anything. They don't have anything priced yet. So people that are jumping on that, they're only charging $60. You don't know yet. You're going to kind of look foolish because we don't know what they're going to charge. And besides that, I'm sure there's been some kind of math done where these companies figured out that a lot of people were buying digital deluxe versions, which were $69 anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't know how many people are like. I would always buy the one-up version of Madden. Yeah, exactly. I would buy like the one-up version of Madden, the $69 one or whatever, or like with Avengers or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get the standard one. I get the one. You know what I'm saying? The next level up. So a lot of people were probably already doing that. You know, and again, if it's worth it to people, then it's going to be worth it. It's kind of in the eye of the beholder. Like if you wanted to charge me $70 for Wasteland 3, no. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna. I'm not gonna pay that. But like something like God of War Ragnarok, hell yeah! I bought the collector's edition for $100 and something. So yeah, it depends on the game. You know, and it really just kind of comes down to the content, and like that's where trust comes in. I think that's also where trust comes in, right? Like you know, if you like Horizon Zero Dawn, it's worth it to you to pay $70 for the sequel, right?
Yeah.
If you like Ratchet and Clank or whatever, then it's worth it for you. If you like God of War, like that's my all-time favorite game right now, the God of War from 2018. So I would pay much more than $70 for it. I'm not trying to say they should do that or that's right. I'm just saying it's really comes down to whatever the people's own opinion on this kind of stuff is. Like Xbot, you would pay $100 and something for a Halo, because you like Halo, right? Like it just comes down to what the people really want.
Exactly.
Well, I never bought like a limited edition or anything like that. I always thought it was too pricey when it came down to it. I got.
That's weird. I got the old one with the mask of the Halo 3 with the chief mask.
We're different people, man. I can't look at me and be like, why am I not doing what Crap's doing? And I can't look at you and be like, why aren't you doing what I'm doing?
Oh, no, that was 100 years ago, man. Like I don't, you know, I just.
But when it comes down to it, like you know, you talk about hard pills to swallow. When games like when they really started pushing digital purchases.
Did you say pills? I heard pills. Sorry.
Yeah,
pills.
But you know, when they started pushing digital purchases for games and stuff, there was a big kind of backlash. No, I want to own my games. How are they charging $60 for something when they're not manufacturing the discs and everything? And then you look at it today and look at the numbers of how many people are strictly buying digital today when it comes to games. It might be a hard pill to swallow at that point in time. But if these companies want to get you there, they will do their damnedest and try anything they can.
The thing is look, both these companies are making plays for that, right? Like if you don't like, I get that Game Pass is a good deal and there's a lot of value, but people are like acting like Sony didn't make a play of their own with the collection, the PlayStation Plus collection. That's enticing to people that maybe got fed up with Xbox of a generation of lackluster content and no content.
And
then
they're not charging you for it either.
Exactly. You get the PlayStation Plus, but guess what? They run deals on that now. Me and Mooch, I don't know if you took advantage of that, Mooch, but that $25 deal, I re-upped for 2 years of PlayStation Plus for that. But look, that's going to be enticing. Yeah, that's going to be enticing for somebody to come over that maybe spent this generation with Xbox. Everybody's like so concerned. Oh man, people are going to leave PlayStation. They're going to go to Xbox because they got Bethesda. Well, did you see that list of games? In my opinion, the stuff like God of War, Days Gone, all the stuff that they have, those 18, 20 games right away, are better than the majority of the games in Game Pass right now. Those PlayStation exclusive, the quality is so incredible, and people are going to go, I'm going to be able to play those games that I missed out on for basically the cost of a PlayStation Plus. That's a hell, like they're doing it too, man. And listen, people are going to discount PlayStation Plus, right? And I get it, or PlayStation Now, because there's a confusion with that service. It originally came out as a streaming service. They should have never done the service that allows you to download games, still called PlayStation Plus or Now, because it's confusing to people, right? So that's why that's not growing. There's actually 400 plus downloadable PS4 games in there. More games downloadable in that than there are on Game Pass. Not only that, but I'll also throw this out. Since Microsoft has released Gears 5 in 2019, September 6, 2019, they haven't released a AAA exclusive all year. And they won't until Halo of next year at the end of the year. That's over 2.5 years between AAA first-party exclusives. So that becomes that becomes less of a value. So you might go, yeah, but Game Pass does the dang. Well, they're not doing day-and-date AAAs for 2.5 years. So doesn't that up the value of PlayStation Now a little bit in comparison? I think it does. And people kind of like, but nobody's ready for that conversation yet. You know, I don't think like Sony has to kind of rebrand that, in my opinion, because the streaming crap should be, you know, whatever. Like Microsoft did theirs a little bit better.
Now, trust me.
Crap, real quick, to your point about PlayStation Now, you know, it's funny. We talked about this on Brap a couple months ago. a lot of the same games that are on Game Pass are on PlayStation now.
Yes, they are. I looked through it.
Yeah,
Yep.
the biggest differentiator is that you get Xbox first party day and date.
Yeah,
that's really the only difference between the
2.5 year wait between exclusives. There's not been a AAA released by Microsoft to that service this entire year, and there won't be.
But the biggest thing I keep telling people is, and you guys are all right, and we kept talking about this earlier, it's not even a question right now who's in the driver's seat, even with Microsoft having all of these acquisitions, having all of this goodwill and good faith when it comes to the consumer base. PlayStation is still the best system to get this holiday over an Xbox.
It's the best station.
But the narrative still is going to be what happens in 2 to 3 years from now when all of these studios start pumping these games out. And then, like I said, that is the thing that's going on right now. There's a reason Sony is fighting tooth to nail with Xbox in America right now when it comes to sales. They usually release their systems worldwide day one. They committed most of their pre-orders to this country and parts of the UK because they know Microsoft is strongest here and they don't want to get a foothold that really dominates in America because we are probably the biggest base when it comes to like purchasing goods when it comes to these systems. And the thing is, Sony's looking at it like this could be the generation where Xbox really does come back in America and they're going to get back a lot of mind share. They're going to still dominate in other countries. PlayStation is going to probably still be 4-1 or 5-1 in Europe and stuff like that. They're not going to have a problem there. The biggest thing is they want to solidify themselves here like they did with the 360 era, like they did with the PS3 era, PS3 with the PS4 era, and they want to say, there's a chance that Microsoft can really do damage to us here, but we're going to mitigate that by making our system available here more than anywhere else for the first week. And that's really going to be the driving force for them in their conversation going through this year, because guess what? This is going to be the year that Xbox is going to literally sell more systems in America than they did last time, because over the course of this generation, that divide in the games and them having a service like Game Pass and getting that stuff cheaper to you is going to entice some people to actually get both systems. I don't think you're going to be people out there without a PlayStation. I think that's the narrative people keep forgetting. PlayStation is still going to sell the most systems this generation, but there's going to be a lot more people that's either going to have PS4 and a PC with Game Pass, or they're going to have a PS4 or a PS5 and an Xbox in their house at the same time, and the Xbox might just be for Game Pass.
Here's the thing, Forte, you know what? I totally dig that sales pitch you did. The only thing I would say is, because we were making that joke earlier, Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox. Xbox has done an equally good job of selling their games on PC. So honestly, I'm not sure if what you're saying will be fruition.
Well, it doesn't matter. Microsoft doesn't care.
I know.
You can buy the games full price on PC.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. Game Pass.
That's right.
They want you to be in Game Pass.
That's right.
They want you to be there.
But
if you're going to give them 70% of the sales on Steam, that's just as good as you being in Game Pass.
Right, I agree. No, I agree. Erica, go ahead.
Forte, take a breath. You can.
He does, right? Forte really goes. He goes off.
Oh, shoot.
He goes off.
Let's not get it twisted. Sony is going to be fine. Like you're saying, Forte, 4-1, whatever it is, they're going to sell a ton of PS5s. And like we were saying before, they may not be making the 7 billion deals out here, but they could do the 200 million, the 100 million, the deals like they have now with Call of Duty, with Destiny, with timed content or exclusive content like Spider-Man being in
Bloodborne.
That game. What is it called? I forget.
Avengers.
Oh, Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers.
Yeah.
Had a brain fart there. Yeah, and having, of course, their Bloodborne 2s, if possible, if that ever happens, or you know what I mean? They're going to have those games like Demon Souls and all that. They're still going to be doing their thing.
And yeah, Erica, you know what? I agree with you. And I don't, it's funny because don't you agree, Erica? Sometimes it's hard to put what's actually going to happen into words because people just go, oh, that's you're full of it. But what you just said makes a lot of sense. And listen, I'm going to use you and my girl, Ash and Luca. Luca said the same thing, and you said this, right? You're like, if it's in fact true that I'm going to be able to play Demon Souls day one, I'm buying a PS5. Now, I'm not saying you and her are going to run out and buy that, but let me tell you something. Me, you, her, DC, we're not the only ones in this category. There's a lot of people. And when you made that comment about the $100 and $250 million studios that they can go get or lock down exclusive content with, That's so important to gamers. It's so important. It's beyond important of just locking down a $7.5 billion deal with games that are also important, but it's Sony can attack it in a different way and get the same results.
Mooch, you know, the
Exactly.
one thing that Sony has, and not just globally, but here in the US, they have a very strong, they're compared to like the Coca-Cola brand, right? I mean, they just have this brand about them.
Yeah.
They can, here's the thing with them and Nintendo. They have been Nintendo and Sony have such a love from the hardcore community and I think just gamers in general, because they've consistently over a period of time delivered quality content. And like it's funny, like we see people like specs and stuff. Hardware spec, that doesn't mean that's irrelative. That doesn't mean, like, the most important thing is the talent of the developers that you have supporting your platform. That's bar none. It's always been like that. Always. And
kind of body a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was me. I was like, oh no, my.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was just me. I didn't want to say anything.
Am I still
Well,
buying?
that's Enrique's
No,
internet
you good,
going
you
out
good.
like you
No,
done.
no,
Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
sorry, yeah. So, no, I'm just saying, like, you know, I think the Sony has the goodwill of the gaming community because they've been consistent in terms of the quality of output of exclusive content and delivering really compelling gaming experiences the way Nintendo has. I mean, Nintendo. I mean, I have a love for Nintendo because for 38 years, at least in my gaming experience, and I'm old, not as old as Mooch, but
Get out of here! I'm younger than you, Brap.
I know, but you know,
Damn it, Brap.
yeah, you know, I gotta break balls a little bit. You know,
So
but
great.
no, but the one thing like, why does Nintendo think about Nintendo can do things that we're like, oh my god, Nintendo is, you know, they're releasing Nintendo 60 Mario 64, Mario Sunshine. They're charging $60. This is outrageous, but they can get away with it because they put out quality content. And when you do that, I mean, you win the hearts and minds of the people that love gaming.
Well, I mean, let's face it, gamers are an emotional bunch. We love things, we hate things, and our nostalgia is very powerful. And I think
Absolutely.
the fact that so many of us have grown up with PlayStation and remember like our first time playing Siphon Filter or Final Fantasy VII, or the first time we blew off a disc, like we were trying to blow a cartridge or something, like we all have these memories. And the fact that those brands have grown with us, and now there's like super hardcore mature games like Dad of War, where he's chopping up people and being like, boy. I think that like people are more trusting of it. And I think Microsoft is in that phase where, since, as Crap Gamer was saying, they've kind of been out of the loop now for the last 3-4 years at least. People are kind of in that place where the good memories have kind of faded with Microsoft. They're going to need to come out with more than just good games.
Right.
They're going to have to come out with good memories.
I you know, DC, let me just add to that. No, DC just kind of nailed that. And I want to say, are all them and everybody in the chat and listening later, listen to what DC just said, and I'll just put it into, I'll kind of mince his words into something else, but it's the same meaning. The end date that I keep hearing here over and over again with Microsoft is value. But does value mean to you as much as beloved games and beloved titles and beloved characters that you've just played and admired over the past 2-3 decades? That's the thing. And when it comes down to it, that's the situation here where you have Microsoft, which definitely had a huge following with Halo and Gears. And I think Gears kind of took a step back this generation. I know that some people will definitely argue with me there. That's fine. If you enjoyed 4 and 5 as much as 1, 2, and 3, I'm actually jealous that you did, because I didn't. But that right?
Yeah.
Wish that was me. Shoot.
I just want to say something like what Dreamcast guy just said. Just really resonated with me. It's so true, because, you know, think about we know about the Metal Gear Solid remake thing that's going out there. And think about that game. If you had the opportunity to play that game in 1998, that game was a genre-defining game.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna have the opportunity to play it again. Like, holy shit! Like, as a gamer, I'm like, oh my god! Like, that's. I mean, it's like Dreamcast guy. Like that. That's, as gamers, that's what we remember, those experiences. Like, and I said that like on Brap this past week. If Microsoft starts creating games like The Last of Us Part 2, and I remember because Erica, you were part of the Last of Us Part 2 spoiler cast that we had on Brad, and like we could have probably gone 3 hours talking about that game, right?
Yeah.
Time flew. Yeah, we could
Easily.
You see, Brap, the narrative in the chat here, and shout out to Antonio Benby, which, by the way, Antonio, if you feel that way, I say respect to that, but I don't feel that way. He says, yes, Mooch, value is everything. It goes back to like my food reference. You know, I always know that I can go for $8.99 and get, you know, a buffet, and usually the food is okay. And that's fine.
Diarrhea.
That's value. Myself personally, I'd rather.
Is there value in diarrhea, Mooch?
No, I don't think so. And you know what? I think you know.
Feel better. You know?
And I mean that's a bad example because there is some outstanding things in Game Pass and Microsoft providing value, but I think we're listening to the word value and we're rolling with it and we're using it, and I personally think that it's kind of brainwashing a lot of people because I think when it comes out to it, replace value with amazing content and see if that holds the same notion for you.
I've never equated value to quality.
Right.
I just never have. That's just me.
Generally in life, Prep, that may not be the situation. Like, how many times has value always ended up with the best quality? Not 10 out of 10 for certain, right?
McDonald's has value, but I mean, like Taco
Right.
Bell right now. Like Taco Bell has value, and you can win a Series X and maybe get diarrhea at the same time. But
that's my thing.
Yeah,
Most times when we say value, we go, "Wow, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I'm pretty impressed with the amount I got for as little as I paid." Right? We say that all the time. But it's not necessarily. But it's not necessarily the quality that you wanted. It's just like you cope with it. You deal with it. You're like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, Mooch, have you seen the movie Vegas Vacation?
Yes, of course.
Every time you say value and you talk about a buffet,
Yes.
I always think about that scene when Chevy Chase and Randy Quaid go to that buffet and the chicken fingers are like chicken claws.
Yes.
Oh my God. Every time you say it, I always go to that scene. I'm sorry.
Great. Erica, did you have something to say?
I was just going to say, DC and Mooch as well, you guys really hit the nail on the head because you're talking about value and how Sony and Nintendo can kind of get away with things. And, you know, we grew up with these experiences, the Mario, Zelda, all that stuff. And it's crazy because when you really think about it, like these games now, you got people saying Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda ever. I don't agree with that.
I do not agree with that.
I don't either.
People saying that though, and God of War, you know, rejuvenating the way it did and coming back so strong in a different way. And these franchises being reinvented and still as good, if not better. Yep. Whereas with Xbox, we talked about Gears, the decline there. I know it's arguable, but me and Mooch, I think we agree. You know, it's not the original trilogy. It's not up to par with that. And really Halo, isn't. I know Halo fans feel the same way. So when you think about it that way, it's like, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And you know, the value's there in the amount, but it's not there in the quality yet. Right. And please, guys, don't take it the wrong way to say, oh, Microsoft's not doomed at all. I'm just saying, but yet I'm feeling like I'm getting a lot of stuff. But it's kind of like when you get, like, you go to, it's trick-or-treating, right? You go to a house and you're trick-or-treating, like, trick-or-treat, and then you get this big bag, and you're like, oh my God, this family gave me a big bag. And I get to go home, you open it up, and it's just like 800 candy corn. You're like,
or good. Damn, I knew he was going to say that shit.
You know?
I knew it was coming too. I was like, he's going to say candy corn.
No, it's the worst candy.
It is
the worst
Mooch,
candy.
or it's pencils or erasers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know?
Candy.
But let me get a couple. I got a couple of super chats here, and I've kept this panel hostage well over 9 o'clock, and I apologize. It's Joker76 says you pay for what you get with Sony, but you can't deny if their Xbox acquisition keeps up the quality of games, it's looking rosy. And I think Joker, we're kind of with you on that. If they could put out the quality and put that to value, wow, that's a 1-2 punch you can't beat. Link to Light says, amazing show, Mooch. It will eventually reach a point of being too expensive. Above anything above $19.99, and I'll just pay for games full price. Link to Light, I think a lot of people feel that way. Keith J says, aren't you the same guys who tried to downplay Red Dead Redemption 2 being on Game Pass because it's a game you already played? Stop capping for PS Plus. And these are a bit old. That Keith is talking about when Crap was kind of doing a quick promotion for PS Now. And then Mac Diesel says, wrong, Crap. Xbox is the best station now, and next gen, just load up any game running on both. I play mostly third party, and Xbox plays them better. I think if you play just third party games, you may want to look into PC gaming. Talk to Enrique for that. right? And then Viewmaster617 says, that old saying, you get what you pay for. You know, there are some sayings that just wither away into nothing, and then there's some that are absolutely timeless, and that's one of them, Viewmaster. You will always get what you pay for. You always get what you put in for, and that's the truth. That being said, guys, outstanding chat. Thank you so much for the super chats. Outstanding panel. Let me go in reverse order here. Just wow. Tonight, I knew tonight was going to be great, and tonight's one of those nights that's so great, I almost want to go back and listen to the show myself. It was that great. Right? I mean, I'm a little biased, but it is what it is. I'll start in reverse order here. The great Hustle and Motivate, which, by the way, guys, you don't know this. Hustle literally is busting his hump, working, and still comes back. And instead of spending time with his family, he spends time with us. So, yo, Hustle, shout out to you for being here, man. Thank you so much. Let people know where they can find you.
Hey, Hustle and Motivate on Twitter. I actually just got off of work and I have to work overtime tomorrow. But catch me on the Scumcast Saturday, 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. If I'm not at work, please catch me there. Shout out to the Action, Luca, Forte, Slow Mo, and the rest of the gang. And hey, Mooch, thank you for having me. Next time, I promise I'm gonna be there for the whole show. I can promise you that. And
we need you, man. We need you here.
I can promise you I will be here. And Erica, you know it's always good to hear from you, man. It's always good to hear from you, Erica. You know what it is.
Yeah, good times.
Awesome, Hustle. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And then I got my boy here, DC. DC, absolutely. Listen, I already gave you ultimate praise in the intro. If I do it again, he'll be like, I'm not going on that Mooch's show again. I just can't take too much of this positivity. DC,
outros,
right? Yeah, right. DC, I want to say thank you so much, buddy. Keep up that great work and let people know where they can find you.
Just youtube.com/Dreamcast guy. Channel's been completely blown up. I got on trending this week. I was number 5 trending worldwide.
Nice.
Very happy about that. Please subscribe. I'm about to hit 200,000, so please help me 200,000 subscribers, please.
Yes, go over and check out DC. DC, thanks for being here tonight. I truly appreciate it. And then we have our girl, Erica. Erica, honestly, it is always an absolute pleasure to have you on the channel. And to be honest with you, we have the great Hustle and Motivate who's able to reunite Mooch and Erica. Hustle, thank you so much. Erica, honestly, it's a privilege having you here. Thank you for your input, and let people know where they can find you.
Thank you again for having me. Good show, good back and forth, very entertaining, even from my side, and just listening here. And when I get my chance to speak, it's always, great that I can be here and give my opinions. Yeah, you can find me, everywhere as Eric Huts for the win. So Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I'm not at 200K like DC out here, but I'm about to hit 10K pretty soon. So I'm hoping I can get there pretty soon. I appreciate anyone who comes through. I got a podcast of my own called The Backlog every other Saturday. Not tomorrow, but next Saturday we will be live. Hope you guys can check us out. And that's pretty much it. Thanks again for having me.
Appreciate that, Erica. And then I got my here, Brap Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Brap, awesome as usual, buddy. Always promoting that PC. You always get that great jab in there when we're not looking. Brap, let everybody know they can find you, buddy. And thanks for being here.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Let me tell you something. Great show tonight.
Thank you, bro.
Great panel. Hey, Hustle, we got to talk, man.
Yeah.
You're the DMV. I'm in the DMV. Slow-mo's in the DMV. FC Violence in the DMV. DMV Gaby, baby. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, another podcast, huh, Forte?
Just throwing it out
not
there.
Me. I'm not in the DMV. I'm done. I'm committed. I'm already committed to all I'm doing.
Forte's on 6 podcasts a week, but
4, but that's still too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Well, Forte,
I definitely got you though.
Forte, you have a beautiful smile, man. I always say that.
Oh
about
God, here we go again.
Forte, let me tell you, Forte. I love Forte. Forte. The one thing about Forte is if you don't agree, if you don't agree with Forte and he doesn't agree with you, he's never disrespectful. He's always positive.
It's great. You kidding me?
Yeah, he's got an infectious smile. But look,
God. That's probably what got me out of trouble this morning with telling 70+ people no.
Minus that guy that was flicking you off. But look. But look, I just want to say seriously, it's a great show, great panel. Seriously, great panel, awesome topics, great conversation, and appreciate everyone in the live chat. And check us out, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself, Gaming Forte, Slimmo Backslap, Eric Jackson, B Money 101.
Awesome, Brap. Thank you so much. Forte, I got to be honest with you. I don't know if you can do an outro any better than Enrique did the outro for you right there. But Forte, awesome to have you here tonight. Let people know where they can
got
find
a
you,
beautiful
buddy.
smile. Talk about your smile, Forte.
Talk about my smile.
Yes.
Look, man, if you want to know what my smile looks like or other things, go check out the last 5 minutes of the Basement Radio Arcade podcast, and you'll get a chance to see something because the chat was clamoring, and your boy had to give them what they wanted. But
they wanted
that sound real crazy right now.
They
bro.
wanted your shirt off.
Crazy in that chat yesterday. It was crazy in that chat Wednesday night, bro. I don't know. Enrique up here trying to drum up OnlyFans and stuff.
Y'all sounding wild right now in the podcast, Mooch. In the podcast,
they wanted it. Look, we had people in the live chat asking for Forte to take his shirt off.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
I don't know what happened.
Let's get through these. Let's get through these outros. People like video games to play.
All right, Gaming Forte everywhere, YouTube, Twitter. He already talked about Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Check out the Scumcast tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. EST. Dude, it's an amazing show with you guys.
DPS. DPS.
No, I'm going to talk about DPS.
I can't.
Slow-mo's in the chat, so he's going to probably slander me if I don't. So DPS Podcast episode 3 was up on my channel this past week. We hit over 75 viewers during that show. So shout out to all you guys for coming through. It was on my channel this week. Next week it will be on Slow-mo's channel. So check him out, sub to his channel if you want to know everything about that show. Other than that, I love being here with you guys. Shout out to Hustle. Shout out to Erica, the first lady of gaming. You guys have a great week. Dreamcast, love you, man. Your content's amazing. Congratulations on almost 200,000.
Thank you.
Awesome, Forte. I'll make this really quick here. I got the last two. Xbot 448 and Crap both had to go. But do check out Xbot 448. He just had his next podcast yesterday. He's moved his from Saturday to Thursday nights. So all of his information is right there on the screen. Check that out. And then, of course, Crap Gamer Reviews. He does 2 videos a day at least. And then we have the M&C show, which I'll go ahead and plug myself here. It's going to be a great show this upcoming Sunday, 11:30. Myself, Crap Gamer, and Nova. We will be there 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Please do check it out. Guys, hit the subscribe button. As much as Erica was saying it, I'm going to say the same thing. Maybe we're in the 10,000 club. Here's what we're doing. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs. Get Mooch there. Tweet it out. Call a friend. Be like, you know Mooch? No, I don't. It's Mooch1970. Yeah, check it out. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be back next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, same channel. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to the panel. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out.
Peace.